You're listening to M.T.V.B. Podcast. Movies, TV, video and board games. This show may contain swearing.
Welcome to a brand new episode of the M.T.V.B. podcast, the podcast that talks about my four favorite subjects, that's movies,
TV shows,
video games,
and board games.
I'm your host Anthony, as well as most people know me as the Ant-Man, and welcome. First off, let's get this out of the way. It's our 100th episode. Wow. And I'm joined around the table with other guys that love to talk about 100th episode. Introduce yourselves around the table, please.
Hi guys, it's John, otherwise JK47.
Hey guys, it's Gal, aka Grey Fox.
Guys, good to be back. It's Gokul, Charm Assist. Couldn't miss this
in
one.
the building. Thank you for coming back for the 100th episode,
Anytime.
mate.
Couldn't miss this.
It's nice to have you back. You're there at the beginning, you had to be there at the end as well, mate. But yeah, first off, I want to go around the table and thank each and every one of you for sticking around and just look where we are now.
Yeah, man.
This is amazing.
Thank you to every single one of you. You put your heart, your soul, your top fives, your knowledge, everything into this, and I can't thank you guys enough. You could have said no from day one, and you haven't. You're still here. Thank you. From my heart, guys. Thank you very much.
Anytime, bro.
No problem, man.
Absolutely.
No
So before we start the episode, I want to do a big thank you to obviously everyone else that has been on the M.T.V.B. podcast. I want to start with obviously Bored Stupid, Wayne and Simon. Thank you guys. Yeah. The guys from Meeple Minded, Jason, James and Kiri's been on here. Our first ever woman on the show, must I add. Howard, the man with two lists. Of course, thank you, sir, for doing this.
Hey,
the guys from Legends of Podcasting, Stuart, Rob and Ross. Thank you guys so much for doing those episodes. Xenomania's been popping in and out this series as well. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Scott. We've obviously got Chris. We've got Tim as well, who are obviously come on here every so often. And obviously my mates Greg, Dave as well. And of course, the one and only guy that couldn't be here, who has been with us since season 3, our very own Dave. So Dave, unfortunately, couldn't make it today. He's had another accident. No, I'm only joking, he hasn't. Unfortunately, work was being a bit of an arse and couldn't make it on the episode, but you know, he's here in spirit.
Yes.
And Dave, sorry you couldn't be here, but again, thank you if you're listening from the bottom of my heart for doing it and for doing Spooktacular with us as well. Thank you, mate.
Love you, Dave.
Guys.
Oh, wow. We're here.
We're here. We are here.
My goodness, huh? Yeah. Who would have thought? 100 episodes.
Who would have thought,
Jesus.
So before we go into like the questions and stuff we normally do, let's obviously talk about what the episode is going to be about. We're going to pick our top 5 episodes of M.T.V.B. So I hope you've gone back in the backtracked and listened to a few episodes, got some more listens. But no, guys, I want to start off with what, you know, again, it's 100 episodes. Yeah. Like, I remember it like it was July, mid-COVID. Wow. Did you ever think we would get this far? You know, we have people listening from different countries. We've got like over 5,000 listeners just on Spotify. Wow. That's not including what's on iTunes, what's on Google, what's on Pocket Casts and whatnot.
Insane.
What do you think? I mean, Just
My
about a bunch of
goodness.
guys, telling us our top fives. Come on.
I would have honestly never thought, 3 years ago. 3 years ago.
No, it's been
And through COVID.
Same through
Yeah.
COVID.
through COVID.
Absolutely.
The
yeah.
pandemic, we made it possible.
Yeah.
Even with us, to a point when we couldn't even be here in person. There was, I think,
That's
it was
right.
one episode we did.
Done it by
over-
phone, didn't we, or something?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was the second season. That was we did that over WhatsApp connected to
WhatsApp
the
what was
like
it?
a group chat sort of thing, wasn't it?
One of those
Yeah.
Zoom kind
Zoom
of
call thing.
kind of
Which is weird because
things.
because like I said, I came up with the idea during COVID. Then we had that sort of mid 20,
yeah.
didn't we?
Yeah,
we
that's
went to
right.
meet with each other.
Yeah.
Less than six, of course. And then all of a sudden it bursted out again, and we couldn't see one another.
Wow.
We got like a
Absolutely.
season out, and then we had we had season 2 planned, and we had to wait even longer.
Yeah.
So-
It was a
was
lockdown.
It was weird because we were all excited. So the first season it was so new, and we were all excited, and then all of a sudden we couldn't do it, and I remember we were at work. How are we going to make this work? Can we try this and this? And then I think me and you figured it out on a night.
No, it was Biggie.
Was it Biggie?
Biggie told us
Oh,
to do
that's
it.
right,
Biggie
yeah.
J, who's oh sorry, of course they were on it as well. Big J, sorry, thank you for being on this episode on the season. And
Even though
Nash,
he
Nash
only-
popped up every once in a while. But thank you guys for thank you. Sorry, going back to
When he has Biggie hold his hand,
but how excited were you when you finally I understand when we first started we've never done this before. The early episodes you can sort of tell when you look back and listen to it sort of thing. But how excited were you when you got to talk about a subject that you wanted to talk about, like your top 5? Well, I think what was our first few episodes was our horror games and what video game we'd remake and stuff like that and whatnot.
It's just oozing with passion for the things that you love, especially games and movies. You I don't know what it was. It was just this adrenaline rush for me to just speak about things that I enjoyed, and I don't know if people enjoy listening to me or not, but I just enjoyed trying to help people understand. I have so much passion for these things, and I think if I like it, I definitely think you will like it. And that was my thing.
Most definitely.
Trying to get people to their attention to something they haven't seen or played. This is what I've experienced. Please check it out.
Yeah, and it was kind of like when when I got the first feedback from it, and oh, I can't believe you put this on there. This should have been on here. But then some of the other choices were pretty good and whatnot. So it's kind of good to get.
It was a learning curve.
It's a learning curve because that was early, wasn't it? But it was still good how we all shared what we loved, and it sort of connected in a way as well.
And I've got to say, this was something Ant used to do before the podcast.
Yes.
We'll be working, and Ant be like, okay, Gal, give me a top 5 of this.
Wow.
That's sort of how it originated. Kind of it, because I used to do, obviously working in Blockbusters, I used to do top 5 with Tim, who's been on the show.
Yeah.
And that's how the sort of, it kind of stems from a movie called High Fidelity. Have you ever seen it with John Cusack?
I've heard of it.
And he owns a record shop called Championship Vinyl, and he always talks with his work colleagues about what's your top 5 horror movies, or what movie would you see before you die, top 5 favorite songs and all that sort of stuff. And I just love this idea of a top 5 because you talk about it, then everyone else talks about it, and it builds up some sort of interest to what their 5 is, because there are times when Gal's gone, this is my number 4, I go, fuck, I should have put that in my list, or he's done that or whatever. So
I tell you what, that is probably the most genius formula for podcasts. Now looking back at it, right, guys, because I can truly say that we were all, everyone here, we were here from day one, the original
absolutely,
founders, right? So
the founders,
the founders, the original. No, I
Originally.
should say, and being the founder, we were on the first
We're the
episode.
sub-founders.
The sub-founders. That's it.
the co-founders.
And I remember at that time we were all sitting together, and it was all of us literally cramped round on the first episode.
It was. There's a photo of it on the Instagram page you took,
right.
and we don't have any of this high tech mic stands or anything. We literally got a couple of boxes with a tiny mic stand on top of the box set, and we were all leaning over to do the thing. Sharing mic. We were sharing mics.
Sharing mics.
This is it. Yeah.
There's quite a few of us, I think.
There was to start with, wasn't there? Yeah.
Absolutely, because I think we were still figuring
at least
it out,
5.
kind of thing. How are we going to do this? And then the formula just came natural, right? And so it was like
No,
the top
absolutely,
5
'cause
thing, and
back
Yeah.
to people feedback, and they were saying there's too many people on the show. You need to dumb it down to at least 4 or whatnot. So
Absolutely.
that was again the point of where we do normally just do the 4 of us now at the end of the day. So
2 or 4, yeah.
sometimes we do a 5th one if it's like we've got an extra person that would really love to be on the show. Then we'll obviously do it.
Bring them in as a guest.
But yeah, I think like we've done an action movies episode where we had like a board game day here once. I said, let's do a recording. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And there's 8 or 9 of us on this, and it's like just so one of the people like, there's too many. So yeah, we might have to redo that episode one time.
Yeah, but it was such a good idea. But you know, guys, we all listen to podcasts, and they all have like a different formula, a way of they're doing, doing things. But for us to start off with the questions, and then we have discussion bit, and then we ask questions, and then we get to the top 5. So
Yay!
that's a really bad impression of the guy.
Okay. I mean, like I used to listen. I used to listen to podcasts and stuff. So the chance to actually be on one, it was. I mean, I jumped. We all jumped at the chance to do one.
Yeah.
But I never thought in them days, it's only going to last a couple of episodes. That didn't go through my mind.
Yeah.
It's going to last 100, 1,000 episodes. Didn't think about it.
I remember when we
I
used
just done it
to-
episode by episode and enjoyed every one of them. And like you say,
Yeah.
now this is 100 episodes. So
I remember when you and Gal used to go to like the movies, and we would
Yeah.
go to Sussex Barn afterwards.
Yeah,
and we would
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about the film whilst we stuff in our
That's
faces
right,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And I swear one time on the drive home once, she said, "And this would be just like a really good podcast to do like
Yeah.
a movie review or something
maybe,
and whatnot."
I
And
might have
then
done. I can't remember.
and it's just like, and I looked at it at the time because this was like back in 2016, and it's like I couldn't be dealing with like shit connecting to PCs and building up memory RAM and all that sort of stuff.
Memory is RAM.
To like so much audio clips and whatnot until we found this puppy that's in front of us now that helps us do it.
Oh, the road.
So it's it was something that again helped whilst I had the time during COVID to come up with something,
Absolutely.
But the title was the hardest part of it, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
is it?
Because you've got so many podcasts based on
Yeah,
our
true.
subjects,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but not the mixture of it. And I just looked at it thinking, well, if it's a podcast about these things, why don't I just take
The
the
initials,
first initial from each
Yeah.
one and
Put it together.
jumble it around?
And it sounds so good. Like I know it says
Yeah.
M.T.V.B, but
Yeah.
B.
But
Yeah.
but with the B at
It's
the end,
catchy. It's
yeah.
catchy, yeah.
Catchy.
Sometimes there's a mouth when you're like the M.T.V.B. Or when you explain it to someone, what's your podcast? Oh, the M.T.V.B. What? Because we do that a lot when we try and like push it to people to listen to
Yeah,
and whatnot.
MTV
Which we still do today, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plug in. I love plug in.
Yeah.
Plugins, right?
But I'm
Ads
glad
in the background.
Telling
Really.
I'm just glad that we finally got to do it, even if it's just like the 100 episodes, we can say, look, we've done it.
Yeah.
For something like Gal, I mentioned I can't remember if I mentioned on an episode or if we played a board game once where like our kids can listen back to this in the future
yes.
and stuff as well.
It's there now forever.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
if they want to like understand a part of me, like they can, or for Ant or whatever, they can listen to this.
Absolutely.
Like an age where I'm not here, and I might leave a message. Oh, listen to the podcast. And they might.
Last I wish listen to 100 episodes.
Oh no, maybe their grandchildren or great grandchildren.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Imagine you get the chance to listen to
absolutely.
your great granddad or something.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
That's to be like amazing.
I'll
Like,
never
hang
and,
on.
and get into the stuff that he liked, and maybe you can listen to their recommendations back then and go back and go, Dead Space, let's try this out. Oh shit,
Yeah, because like we're talking about films and games that are like 30, 40 years old now. So you imagine 30, 40 years from now.
Exactly.
Our kids will be thinking about films that that we watched 30, 40 years ago. So by then it'll be like 60, 80 years old.
Exactly.
And like I say, sometimes you get people who they lose a loved one, but it's nice to be able to hear their voice.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
like here, we've got a medium here now for people to listen to, and I can
It's
hear.
forever there.
It's like an archive.
Like I say,
It's like us.
my daughter often, like my daughter's 19, and she often is in the car, I pick her up from work and that, and I often have a podcast on, and I can hear her giggling away, and like think episodes, certain parts of episodes come on, and I'll be laughing because like G might have been like winding me up or something, or our aunt's winding something, and I'll be laughing at it, and then I catch her giggling and laughing as well. So
amazing.
it's kind of nice that way,
It's actually really good. Like it's funny. I was thinking about it today. Like like when a certain, I don't know, TV show or something, they celebrate like a milestone. They throw in these random kind of like metrics and kind of like statistics and everything like this. I was thinking of some like on the way here, and I was thinking, oh my God, we've had 2 prime ministers in the last 3 years. We went through 1 pandemic, 3 lockdowns. 6 variants.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Right. What else? Like,
then we've had a war.
We've had a war. Like
we had a fuel crisis. War. We had energy crisis.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we still knocked out 100 episodes.
Exactly.
Fuck you, world.
Yeah, me and Gal
still not a Switch 2 yet.
And there's still no Switch 2. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we've had new consoles and everything then as well.
Exactly. Yeah, we've gone through a generation. You know, it's been amazing. Yeah,
but let's talk about like the 4 subjects we do for the podcast. Did you guys feel that was too much for a podcast, or did you feel like that was a good enough spread to do enough episodes and come up with your top 5s and whatnot? Because I haven't just come up with these episodes myself. You guys have had an episode here or there too that you've written as well. Yeah. So how was it for you guys just to have those 4 subjects? Would you prefer just the one subject at a time, or
no? Because I think if we had focused on one, there would be things. Yeah, but I mean, we could do an episode about a video game. That'd be really good. And then it'd be like, well, why don't we do
variety?
I mean, we play those board games. We could do. So I think it's quite good because they are the 4 subjects that we kind of cover between us already. Yeah. So it's like you were saying, Ed. There's piles of scope from those 4 subjects. Yeah. For loads of episodes, you know, we're not redoing an episode because we can't think of an idea or anything. It's a new idea, a fresh look at everything all the time. Every episode is fresh and new. So
absolutely,
yeah. I mean, I admire my friends' podcasts who are literally just the one subjects, and they knock episodes out every week. I mean, I barely, can get through thinking of 20 episodes for a season. So I admire them very much for just sticking to one subject. But I think I had to do more because, like, very much exactly what you said, John. Because I would have gone, do you know what? I would love to do this and that and whatnot. Then you'd have to change the whole podcast, the whole title itself. So I thought if you throw all 4 in at once, then it'll be easier. Just to say we do all this, and there are other episodes and whatnot about it.
Yeah, because it opens up the scope, doesn't it? And like, for example, that's the thing that what's genius is that it's something that we're all into. Yeah. Like all 4 topics, we're all into it.
Watch
and
movies, watch TVs, play games.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Each one of us here has a higher interest out of one of those 4. Yeah. For example, I know movies more than Gal does, but Gal knows more games than I do. Yeah. And then John knows more TV than I do, but I know more movies, and then vice versa and whatnot. So it's just, it's a good combo with a great amount of people that know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I think it's the right amount as well.
Yes.
I mean, I know the little spin-off we have with Commentary Corner. Well, I mean, that doesn't have to be like an action film every time.
No.
At all.
It can, we could do a Commentary Corner to do with a TV show or something, you know?
Absolutely.
So that's got scope as
that's
well.
That's a good idea, yeah.
So,
but the final episode of a...
Yeah. So there's scope there for all, and I think it's just the right amount for us because basically that's what we do.
Exactly.
You know, we do watch films,
is live.
we do watch TV shows, we do play video games on all different platforms, and we do play board games.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know, the interest is already there for us. So.
It's true because that's the thing, though. See, and you're really smart about picking these topics and also just designing this podcast because you've made it future-proofed.
Yes,
you've done it in such a way that things are not obsolete; they can continue, and the scope widens. Yeah. So, who says in 5 years' time there won't be any mics? We'll have like sort of
all wireless stuff,
or something like that.
You'll have mics in your ears already. And whatnot now.
Exactly. And we'll be looking
I've got a new
back
tagline for you: M.T.V.B. It's in the genes.
That's good.
Speaking of that, we've come up with a few catchphrases over these 100 episodes, haven't we? Which one's your favourite?
My turn, your turn.
It's your turn. It's my turn. What about I Max that bastard?
That's that bastard.
I've got the T-shirt already. I had it made.
Have you?
I Max that bastard. Yeah.
Actually done it as well.
And 100% that bastard. Is it 100% that? Oh, I said one. I can't remember.
I can't remember what it was now. Liberties is yours and whatnot as well.
Liberties.
I saw he had another one.
There's loads, but I can't remember them all off the top.
Yeah.
So many.
But out of here's something interesting. So, like I said, we've all written an episode and done episodes for this. Obviously, 100 of them. But was there ever an episode you would like to have done that hasn't been done yet?
Oh, that's like a good question.
Without fucking Pokemon and Digimon and whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah.
I wanted my Pokemon episode.
Pokemon.
But no, there is one
I like
thing.
the idea, but it's now trying to think of what would it be.
I've got one then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we've already.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, I can't. I can't talk about it.
Yeah.
No, I can't talk about
You
it. Sorry.
can't.
Okay, now let me think on it.
Okay, we can always come back to
an
it.
idea for a future episode. Then probably. Oh, that's fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, not bad.
Obviously, we've tried to widen the scope a bit with not just the seasons. We've done special episodes.
Yeah.
We did one to do promote your channel at the time. We did one on a review, and then obviously we've done Spooktacular, which
Christmas
is
episode.
Christmas episodes. We've done roll up, roundup seasons, and we did a Halloween episode, which was an actual release on Halloween, and obviously Commentary Corner.
And we do Christmas ones.
How did you feel about when I approached Commentary Corner to you guys? I mean, because I hadn't actually told you and I said, like, this is what we could be potentially doing. How did you feel at the time? Did you feel like, oh, fucking hell, I've got to come over even more now? Or did you think it was like, you know what, it's a night at the movies with you guys and you just chat about it, really?
What, as in on Commentary Corner?
As in Commentary Corner itself.
I thought it was a brilliant idea.
Yeah?
Genius.
It's like,
It leads into a question I have for you.
Okay.
And I'll broach that when I get to it.
Okay.
It was something where, like, there's movies that I want to see that I've already seen, and there's movie that I need to see because I haven't seen it. And it's great to watch movies that I've already seen with you guys as a whole, and at the same time record it, because it's I haven't seen it in a long while, and watching it with you guys, and especially your iconic what's the phrase? Did you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Which is a recent thing now.
Yeah. And the thing is, that wasn't like a new thing to me. We used to watch movies, and did you know?
Yeah.
And you always used to, and I used to.
I think we've always got some snippet or two, haven't we?
That's
so,
awesome.
So, and then watching it with a movie that I've watched on my own before, watching it with Ant was more of like a learning curve in a way. That you'd be like, oh, you know,
learning more about it.
We did a commentary corner.
Really
I can't think the film now, and it was one that I believe G hadn't seen it. Do you remember? And you and me were like looking to see what his reaction was going to be when a certain thing happened in it.
I remember we did one. We did Mad Max Fury Road, and Biggie hadn't seen it.
No, it was a different one.
So I remember watching his reaction to that.
There was one we did, and
it was Dracula.
Was it
Bram Stoker's Dracula?
Yeah,
yes, he hadn't seen
and
it.
G hadn't seen it, so we were thinking, let's see what reaction he has when this certain scene comes up. And that was quite good because it's like G said. Us all sitting here watching a film, explaining things, and the did you knows and things. That's all quite good, but that was quite cool actually because G hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
So it was good to see his reaction to it, because we knew what was coming next and he didn't, and that was quite cool.
That's
actually,
pretty cool.
So that was quite good.
Yeah.
And I know the listeners can't see; they can only hear. But the expression on his face when this scene came up was magic for us too, because we were like, I wonder, will he or won't he, you know?
Yeah.
So it's quite good. So that was one of the reasons why I like Commentary Corner, and I'm glad it's going the way it is, you know.
It's different, and it's like it's the evolution of it as well, because it's like we've taken it from here to the TV screen, and what makes it organic as well is like you can hear us crunching on our snacks as well. It's just
absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, it's 4 or 5 of us sitting around watching a film.
Exactly.
And I know they're listening to us watching a film, but if they're doing it right, they're watching it as well.
That's right.
And
that's what it's designed for, isn't it? So they actually watch the movie.
And it comes back to what we were saying before about in the olden days, but days gone by. Let's word it that way. Yeah. Where you used to have commentary on the discs.
Yeah.
So you could watch the film and listen to the commentary. So you'd have the producer and the director and their views on why they did it and how they did it and so on. So it's quite nice to have that.
That's right.
And I know it's us saying it, but at the same time, it's like we're kind of more in tune with the listeners than what the directors and that would be.
Yeah. That's true.
And it's more of a laugh, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's not nothing serious. It's just like it's just sometimes it's just stupid stuff, or gripping us into you or us. Yeah. And sometimes it's quite clever things as well, like factual. So it's quite like, if you enjoy our company, listen to Commentary Corner.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so quite intrigued to know if people actually watch the movie as well as us, because I know a couple have done, but I think a majority I get worried when it's an episode and sometimes we're quiet for more than a minute because we're watching it and thinking, sometimes I forget we're recording, you know. So sometimes Commentary Corner is a bit of a gamble, but I think when it's the right movie, it does. I mean, the first 2 episodes are like one of the most listened episodes on M.T.V.B.
Wow.
That's
so
amazing.
it hit a bang because I think it might have been because of those specific films.
True.
But we'll see. You know, we'll carry on with it. It's always Commentary Corner was always done for between season thing at the end of the day, wasn't it? Plus,
I quite prefer Commentary because I'm not trying to say I don't prefer the normal podcast. It's just, it's somewhere where like I don't have to think. I just like
chill out,
watch a movie. You know,
away from the wife and kids,
away from life, and exactly.
Yeah. And again, it literally is a movie night with mates.
That's it.
With the mic.
Exactly.
That's it. And I don't get that as much as I used to. So it's quite good.
It's so true. It's like, am I right in describing it, guys? It's basically like, when you pick up a DVD and it says the special features on the back, it has the making of it. Also says the director's commentary. So it's basically that, right?
Yeah, it's like a double set. Yeah, but it's with us.
I think today's generation
from a fanboy's
don't
perspective,
do that.
Yeah.
I think today's generation they don't listen to that part of it.
Then they
just want to watch the film and move on. And you think, well, hang on a minute. That film probably took 3 years to make and cost X amount of money. So you should at least, as much as you want to see it, why do you want to see it?
Appreciate
you know, you want to see it because everyone else is watching it. Well, then why are they all wanting to watch it?
Yeah.
So it's like we've said before. It could be a certain director or whatever the subject matter is.
Exactly.
But I'd like to think sometimes that maybe there's, even if it's just one person on their own, pair of headphones on, listening to us talking while they're watching a film.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
That'd be pretty awesome.
Whether anyone does actually or not, of course, is another matter. But it would. I think it'd be quite cool.
Yeah,
amazing.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, because, like I say, I don't think many people do bother anymore with the special features side of it and the commentary side to the film.
It's true. Yeah,
I don't think they do. I mean, we all have done, but I'm not so sure today's generation are bothered because it's all at Netflix or Prime now, and you don't get that on there.
You don't get it.
They just watch the film. That's it.
That's
and then
it.
They move on to the next movie.
Yeah. Exactly.
Have you ever gone back and listened to one of your top 5s and think, "Fuck, I should have put something else in instead," or
after the episode, or during?
Just whenever, ever since it's come out.
Yeah.
Some of them I stick to.
Yeah,
but it's only the ones where like I'm not the most. My memory is not that great.
No,
I forget things, and sometimes you spark things in me. Where
I think we all do.
But it's only rarely occasion. If it's some genre that I like, say an RPG or game or whatever, I've got it nailed down. But if it's something like back in the day, also like a movie or a TV show that I'm not too sure, then I'll be a bit. Oh, maybe I should have put that because I forgot about that. Yeah, that's the only time.
Yeah, it's like we did an episode.
But if I have it nailed on, it's nailed on.
Yeah, I think we did an episode last week. I won't say what it is because I don't know what order you're putting them out.
Well, this is the last episode of season 7, John.
But you haven't put this one out yet. So
yeah, exactly.
Okay. But it was a subject matter that I didn't think I had as much of an enjoyment in as I did. And I walked away from the episode thinking, I really fucking enjoyed that. That was a damn good episode. And I haven't really done that in a long time. I've liked all the episodes I've done, but that one really, I think it's because I went in with low expectations of myself, thinking, I'm just gonna kind of like wing it. And it got it got to the point
because
where
you bounce the idea off.
I think that's what it is.
It's happened to me most of the time. I'm like, oh, this episode's going to be rubbish because I haven't got any great ideas, and I'm like, there's not much we're going to talk about, and it goes on for 2 hours, and then I'm like, wow, I've actually said
3 hours later, you're thinking, where the bloody hell did all that info come from? Because we bounced off each other. Yeah.
Exactly.
So a couple more questions before we move on. I want to talk about reactions from fans, if you will, or people that have listened. You've had a few back that have listened. So some of your mates have listened, Gal. And didn't want to listen to like me talk about Power Stone or something or whatnot. And he said, I'm going to give you my copy of it and whatnot. And then the late Danny. A friend of mine had listened to the episode and we were talking about how we should bring Guitar Hero back. And he was like, well, you can have my 360, you can have my Guitar Hero, you can have the games and stuff and whatnot.
That's amazing. I remember you was,
we've got our number one fan, Handsome Raz.
Handsome Raz.
Who should have been here for the 100th episode. Come on.
I feel like we should have.
Yeah, we should have gone. But maybe the 200th episode. Who knows, Raz?
But he's
it does.
probably, right now just listening to this and feeling really
By the way,
wholesome.
open that door.
Oh, wait.
You thought he was in there for a second, didn't you?
You should have seen the look on his face.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Raz. I had to do that, mate. That was cool. You should have seen his reaction. It was brilliant.
I'll tell you what.
But we've had, sorry, go.
I was going to say, and there's something about Raz, he really does critique the episodes, and I love it. He listens to it properly. He gives a shit about what we're talking about. He asks a lot of questions, and he's given us, and is this is pointers, this is what you should do, or by the way, I really like that, and you feel like a celebrity hearing it through
John's
him.
number one fan.
John,
and he doesn't want
You have a fan. Remember, he met you at that cinema thing.
I'm going to talk about that later. That's hilarious.
Okay.
I was going to say I've never met the guy, but I remember meeting him at Ant's thingy. So,
But we also-
I haven't really said anything.
Do you remember that time I told you that random person at work I didn't even know come up to me and mentioned he took in one of our recommendations.
Yeah.
We recommended Prey, if anyone doesn't remember it, which is like a Predator film that no one knows is a Predator film, basically.
God, so
And he's like, I listened to your podcast, listened to your episode, and it's like, I started watching this film, and it's like, my God, I cannot believe this went under the radar. Because your podcast, I found this.
Oh, wow.
And then there was another person, again, someone at work who listened to the podcast, and he's like, he's a bit of a family dad sort of thing. So he said, I listened to an episode about family board games, and we got those recommendations, and we played them over Christmas and stuff and whatnot.
Brilliant.
So there is...
Did you not? Also, I remember he got called into the office in the thing. And he said, "Oh shit, what have I done?"
Yes.
And it was he thought, "Oh, here we go." And then the manager turns around and goes, "Oh, you've got that podcast, haven't you? It's brilliant."
I honestly shit myself. I thought something was happening. I'd done something wrong, and he goes, "Just let you know, your podcast is really good. And I can't wait for next week's episode and whatnot." And I was like, I was like, "Did you have to send me in an office to do that? Can you just not tell me face to face?"
It's like my underwear right now.
Yes, Mr. Burney, if you're listening, yes, we mentioned you, sir. Please don't put me in the office again.
It's really good. Yeah.
I don't really have anything else left. Does anyone want to throw anything else?
Yeah, we've got questions for you.
we got questions.
We got questions for you.
I have one more, but let's do those first. So
Okay.
go on. What's
Go for it, John.
I'm worried now. I'm getting interviewed.
I think I've asked you before, but I want to ask you on the podcast. Would we ever see a video format of mod podcast?
Oh, that's something
I would love to. I mean,
Oh,
I am going to put the 100 episodes on YouTube regardless. So obviously, it'll just be audio and whatnot,
I was gonna
and
say
see if we get a reaction out of
maybe
out
do
of
a
YouTube.
special edition episode and do a video.
good.
Okay, yes, that's literally the only platform we had. I mean, we did a few videos for the Facebook page, didn't we?
Yeah.
But all in all, if I had the money and budget, yes, 100%,
of course,
it would be videos. Because I think I would take
You
the
could do it on
time
your phone.
to do it. I mean, it's not just
Good
it's like
enough
taking the
quality.
time to put it onto.
That leads into a question I have for you.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
yes, I would love to. I would like to see it as a future thing, but let's see if this podcast carries on over 100 episodes.
Well, it's like when you said earlier about did we think that we would get to 100 episodes, and I said, well, I wasn't thinking that far ahead. I was just glad to meet up with all the guys because of obviously with COVID and all that, and being able to meet again and do something different, which is what this is.
Yep.
And now that we are this far at 100 episodes, I can see us getting to the 200 episodes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
I think when we first started it, it's like you said yourself, none of us really kind of knew what we were doing. We've winged it to start with, and we're kind of getting there slowly. But yeah, I can see us getting 200 episodes.
Do you guys feel more comfortable podcasting now than you did?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
I think this is what Nash's problem is. Hi, Nash. I just think he needs to come out of his shell a bit and come down and sit down here with us guys and have a laugh like he does when he plays board games with us.
Absolutely.
He'll come and do that. Why can't he just sit there on a mic and have a laugh? He would get into it.
I wasn't nervous in the beginning. I was more nervous on the things I was going to talk about.
Yeah.
But then Ant always reassured me, mate, trust me, you will always have something to say.
Yeah, yeah.
You always, when you
Absolutely.
speak to me, you always have a lot to say, and it will come natural. And trust me,
Because it's your passion, isn't it? At the end of the day, so
Exactly,
there's always something to say, isn't there?
Yeah, I think that's a golden rule, isn't it? You pretend the microphone is not there, those
Exactly,
headphones
yeah.
are not there. You're just talking amongst friends, and that's like the best.
Yeah,
kind of
I mean-
way to perform, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a
I tend to forget
performance,
this big fucking monstrosity of a mics in front of me sometimes.
Yeah.
But here's a question for you guys
Okay.
before I get more questions. if we do the 200th episode, how many kids do you think Gal will have by then?
I reckon he'll have at least 2 more.
Mate, I'm going to shoot my bollocks off.
Hey!
So, moving on.
Right, Ant.
That was a good question.
What is your turnaround from raw audio to episode?
Well, is it like
To
editing?
finished episode? Yeah, in an editing question, in a sense.
Yeah,
because we're all sitting here now doing this. So how long would this is your chance to explain. This is a thing I think because the listeners listen to us.
Yeah.
They don't really know anything about any of us other than who we are.
The nitty and gritty.
And little bits that we've kind of said. But I just think it'd be quite interesting to tell them the equipment that we use or you use. And how long it takes you once we're finished doing the episode, how long it
what
takes
goes on
to
in the
put
background
that.
after we
It's the editing side of it all.
Obviously, he kicks us out.
Well, yeah.
But
He kicks us out. We all go home, and then Ant's left with. And how long does it take to get to the finished product?
So we've obviously got the Rodecaster Pro here, which does the recordings for it now, and it all goes onto a little SD card thing now. Now, for the first, maybe the first season isn't, but after from season 2, every episode's edited.
Right.
People don't realise that. People think
This is what
from season 1 it was a straight record straight onto Spotify or Anchor at the time. It was at the time.
That's right.
That's right.
And nothing was taken out.
Right.
But then people were like saying, well, we can hear this in the background, we can get rid of this in the background. There are times when obviously you have, because I have a new roof over our conservatory studio, that when it rains you can hear that on top as well. So now I have to go back and take stuff in and filter sounds, heighten sounds, or sometimes even the quality, because sometimes there are times where, geez, mic has gone off, or if someone says an inappropriate comment during commentary corner.
Yeah, sorry guys.
So some stuff, I mean, every episode is edited regardless. It doesn't take too long because sometimes when you see me do this now, I'm obviously writing in the book every now and then.
That's right, yeah.
Because then I can go, well, at 15 minutes, Big Gal said something about disabled people, for example. And then I can go back to that specific moment on the laptop, cut it out, refilter it and redo it as an MP3 and then convert it back into an MP3 and then have it ready for...
how many times do you listen to the episode before you release it?
I listen to it once because I DJ. Obviously, everyone knows I DJ. I have a long trip to get there and back and forth. So that is a good excuse to listen to the raw copy.
That's a good idea.
And listen to it then. And then I can go, hang about. I can quickly pull over, get my phone and say 23 minutes and said something about... whatever, and cut that out, whatever. Not intentionally, and we don't say that sort of stuff here, full stop, because we're very into our proper subjects. So I always listen to it once, maybe twice over, just to get a good feel of the episode. Sometimes if someone waffles on too long, that needs to be shortened. There have been episodes. So very quickly, when we first released M.T.V.B, Anchor told us we're not allowed to have anything longer than 3 hours.
Yep.
And luckily enough, season 1 had no episodes that long. But season 2 or 3 did. So I got worried that it was going to just get cut off. So I had to cut it down less than 3 hours. And then one time I completely forgot to edit an episode. And it was 3 hours, 5 minutes, if that, whatever it was. And then Anchor was just like, don't worry about the 3 hours now. You've got enough listeners. You've got enough fan base to not even warrant a time limit now.
Oh, wow.
So
not bad.
But stuff still gets edited at the end of the day, so regardless of it being the length of time. Every episode has been edited since season... because obviously season 2 was the lockdown episode, so we had to do it through the phone lines and through WhatsApp, so everything had to be... the audio had to be redone and refiltered, remastered, so it was clearer than just hearing, phone sounds and whatnot. As much as I can do with the equipment I have...
Yeah.
Because no one knows this, but when I come up with the idea for the podcast and found this equipment, I didn't come out with over £1,000 to pay for it. I had to get a loan and pay for this, and I've only just finished paying for all this equipment.
No way.
So, so it's been a tough ride. But my worry was having all this. And then we did a season and being like, God, I can't do it anymore. And then that'd be like, all that money's gone to nothing now because we've got 10 episodes out of it and everyone's quit on me and whatnot.
Do you know what? I'm kind of glad I asked that question, and because I didn't know that you'd taken the loan out for all this equipment.
Because it was COVID. COVID, we were on 80% pay. I couldn't afford. If it was on 100%, I could obviously probably afford it. But through COVID, I had to sell a lot of other stuff. I used to have like posters and vinyls and all this sort of stuff that I used to like all these special edition stuff I had to sell during COVID just because my wife lost her job as well, so I had to keep her going with that as well. So it was tough, and then so I had to bite the bullet and say, look, I'll get a loan out and let's see if this passion project works. And I hadn't even told any of you that I bought this. Because do you remember the day I said to you guys, I've got an idea here. I know we're in COVID at the moment, but here's an idea. Yeah. And then I just sent you the picture of that poster. Now, I was literally waiting for Backlash to go, are you fucking kidding me? Are you serious now? And all that sort of stuff.
We knew we wouldn't do that.
And the fact that you guys were like, do you know what? Wow, let's do this. It's like, I know we can only see 6 at a time, but let's do this.
I was so excited. I remember that first ever we sat down and there was like this mic and hearing our voices.
Exactly,
my God.
It was something new.
This is what I sound like on the radio.
I get excited listening to my voice now through the mic, through my headphones.
Exactly. I remember like the first time, and I remember it's like you said, you hear it and then playing it through the your speakers at home and stuff, and you're hearing it, and just the production quality of it. Like honestly, and like we're probably like used to hearing it now, but it sounds like a fantastic, like proper premiere podcast, especially with the intro and
because I could have got cheaper mics and all that sort of stuff, but I thought no, let's go with because I've heard good things about Rodian today, so I thought let's go with them because these are all their mics as well. Like literally the only thing that isn't is their stand here.
A lot of the podcasts that I watch, some of them are video, and they use similar equipment. So same make, Rode or Rody or whatever it's called.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when I saw Ant with them, I thought, well, he's bought good stuff. So,
absolutely. Good stuff, like proper quality. It's amazing, honestly. Yeah, and just seeing how how the podcast has just come along.
I've also got a question.
Yeah, go for it.
I've got a couple more. But
Ant always has good taste in music, and his music before every episode.
Yes. I wanted to know about that.
I know. I don't know. The fans might not know this, but we're always dancing in the background.
Usually,
is there some sort of selection process that you go for selecting?
So the issue with the intro for me is that I didn't want M.T.V.B to have a theme. Because the thing is with themes, I love themes as much as they are, but I grow out of themes. So I would have changed it after season 1 regardless if I had a theme for season 1. So me being heavily into synthwave music, which is what it all is, this is all non-copyrighted music which I've paid for through Artistry. And Artistry is a web page or website that you can go through and purchase tracks for. I think it's like a $5 or something, whatever. And you get so many a month, and they're all just like non-copyrighted stuff. So nothing is ever. I think we've only used one copyrighted song for an episode. The rest have all been non-copyrighted. And funny enough, one of them years ago had come out on Spotify. So I think one of them now is non-copyrighted. Now should I say?
Nice.
But if you actually look on the logo, the actual synthwave sunrise is in blue and red in the pink in the background. So
I wanted to know the significance of those colours.
That's what it was for. Yeah, it's the synthwave colours.
Oh, that's genius.
Because the original poster was, I think it was just like all of it was in white, and he gave me blonde hair, and I said, "Look, no, go back. I have brown hair, hence the photo." And I need like something synthwavy about it, whether it's the color or a symbol or something. And the next thing, he'd just come back with the actual sunrise synthwave logo in the background. And again, it's not copyright because it's fully covered with my fucking half body there or whatnot. And that's pretty much how. That's why that music is in that poster, because it connects with that, and it's always catchy as hell. I mean, I always I've gone through loads of tracks. Trust me, I've spent like hours listening to music, and I think there's only 20 tracks out of all of them. So they're the same songs, but different order or whatnot. And even other guests have come on the show and said, "Look, I really love jamming to you, or you've got some of the best intro music ever." And it's literally literally not for any purpose. It's just the fact that I love that type of music. Obviously, other people do, and they think it's catchy. So
it's brilliant, really good.
I've got another question.
Oh Jesus!
So I've got a couple, but
that's all right. No, we'll do that and then do this couple, and then we'll move on.
What sort of when you've done this and you get sort of feedback, or when you accomplish a season, what sort of gratification do you get? What do you get out of it? Like, do you like for instance, I don't know. For me, if someone says, "Oh yeah, I saw the podcast," I know it's not my baby; it's your baby. I get, wow, man. When someone comes out and says, "Oh, this is really good," I get excited. Because I'm on it, and it's like, what do you feel?
I think I'm pretty much the same. I like because we don't make money out of this at the end of the day. It was never ever for a profit thing. I think we were at one point offered a sponsorship from Anchor, which is the original platform this was all on. Yeah. But then Anchor got bought out by Spotify now, so sponsorship's out the window now. Yeah. It would have been nice to do it, but at the end of the day, we don't do this for this. We talk about it because it's just our passion. Yeah. It's a chance to see you guys. We all have busy lives and stuff, and sometimes it's just nice to sit around with mates and chat about the things you love, isn't it?
Absolutely.
But to hear other people come back and say, like I said earlier, like your recommendation for this was brilliant, or I never knew about this world cinema movie because you guys mentioned it, or this soundtrack, or this video game, just to hear people's reactions. So even the people you're chatting around with, just their reactions, like my number 5 is such and such, and even when you go, oh, of course, or if I start singing to Goku and he sings back at me and whatnot, I think it's that. It's exactly what you say, Gal. It's that reaction from people that gives you that buzz, and that makes me want to let's do season 8, let's do season whatnot. Because if that's it. Because if we didn't, I don't think I would be here now doing the 100th episode. You know,
absolutely.
I think it's that drive that drives us all to go. Let's do the next episode.
Absolutely.
Go on, John.
Right. I don't know if you can answer them.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Let's give it a try.
What's the best compliment any episode has got?
The best compliment that any episode's got.
Or to word it another way as well, or a separate question is, what's an insult you've received that you're actually proud of from an episode?
I'm kind of proud that Simon's pointed out that Gal said Pacific instead of specific. Because I knew he was doing it, but I didn't have the heart to tell him that he was doing it.
I think we've all had a bit of a laugh.
And I had to cut you out a couple of times doing that as well.
And there was an episode he kept saying specific, right? And I remember asking him, "Are you like doing this on purpose?" He's like,
oh yeah, that's good.
I mean, we had a really good compliment recently, actually, for the top 5 favourite TV episodes. Our TV episodes are huge. We don't do them very much, but we get a huge reaction from them, whether it's like, I remember that box set, or I remember that episode, I remember that actor, or whatever, or thank you for telling me this, guys. I can't believe, this how did I go under this? Thank you for the recommendation or not. And I think our TV episodes get the bigger, most reaction, should I say, out of all our genres that we do. But yeah, I think I could use that as a compliment, that's would you will?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I hope I answered that one.
Nice one.
So I'll go to my last question before we do our top 5s.
Okay. Yeah.
And what do you think the future for M.T.V.B is?
Nice.
I think we're already there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What an answer, man. What an answer.
Because I don't see, and I know this sounds a bit cheesy, but I don't see how we could improve it, if you know what I mean. Because we already cover the subjects that we do.
Yeah.
Apart from, like I said earlier, maybe a video format, but
I do think that originally it's an audio podcast, but maybe do a video one for. Maybe we could have done this one, the 100th one as a video one. Maybe Maybe we'll do the 200th as a video.
We've definitely improved as a podcast.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, if you listen back to the older stuff, it definitely is.
100%. There was a lot of ums and ahs.
Yeah.
I think there's less of them now. I'm not saying there isn't any, but I think there's less of them now.
I would like to see more reviews. It's my personal
opinion.
I quite enjoy that.
The reviews.
The problem with reviews is like trying to do it before everyone else does. That's the problem, isn't it? Yeah. But no, I think that was one of the original ideas, wasn't it? For M.T.V.B was to have reviews and stuff, wasn't it?
Because it would make like, obviously we don't go out to see cinemas. I know you guys do a lot. I don't. But it will give me that incentive to go watch that film and come back and record an episode. But
then we had other plans for this podcast. We were going to do live plays of board games and stuff and whatnot.
That's right.
But time has moved on. We've come out of so many crises. People have gone from different jobs and or different departments and in companies and whatnot, where we don't actually get to see each other as much as we could have done back then.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't think we've done as bad as what we could do. Yes, we had plans original, but I don't think it's tarnished
God,
what
no.
we've created with M.T.V.B.
It's not. It's done the opposite. It's made it. And this is the thing. Like, I think, like, for me to answer that, I think just to go with the flow with the way technology is, maybe they'll develop another way of doing podcasts or something like this. Maybe they'll develop like a 3D hologram thing where you're watching. This is like the future, right?
Yeah.
But the way I see that,
Or in VR,
this
watch it
is-
in VR.
Maybe like a VR program, something like that. Exactly, but it'll be easy. You won't be just putting on headsets.
Watch five guys around the table in VR. No, you can really reach the mic.
You can see John Wick now.
You can see what John Wick actually looks like.
Exactly.
The White Wolf himself.
Exactly, and maybe they'll add interactivity. So you know how Spotify recently you get like snippets of music videos for that. Could be the same with podcasts. Might be snippets of us. They'll probably ask us to record video snippets of us.
Going back to what
like that. Yeah.
Going back to what Big Gal said about making the podcast into video format,
Yeah.
I'd like to. I mean, that would be my goal. I think.
Yeah.
Right. Within the next 100 episodes, like because obviously Joe
That would be
Rogan's on
good.
there as well, very big,
Yeah.
popular. But you can watch his show as well as listen on on
Exactly.
Spotify.
Yeah,
I'd like something like that on Spotify, but
I'd be
for
game for
M.T.V.B. But
Yeah.
watch this space, guys, and we'll see at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, if these three guys throw in a budget, what so every now and then, we never know.
Exactly.
I think it's the editing side of it that's maybe the difficult part, because us sitting here around a table talking is what we kind of do anyway. But if we had, like, say, a camera on a mic on a stand over there, I don't think it would be any different to kind of like what we're doing now.
Exactly. It's the same thing. We just pretend the camera's on there and stuff. But that's it. Just I think
You
we're
could
ready,
probably have
ready for the
two,
future.
and then like when you do any editing, you could cut from one angle to the other and back maybe. No,
But
and
again,
maybe
that's-
put something to it. But
right now, Ant's got easy, like not easy. I'm saying easily
Yeah.
certain. That's more.
yeah,
More.
I can see. I can see that maybe being the next step.
No. Yeah. Absolutely.
And I'm game for it if it is, because I don't see. I can't see it being an issue because we're 100 episodes in, like we've just said, and we're kind of used to sitting around speaking into a mic and having a laugh with each other.
Exactly.
You've laid a nice foundation.
God,
basically.
definitely.
Yeah, I think that's the same for what we reach here.
Yeah.
I know we had other stuff planned and whatnot, but I still think it's pretty good. We've got a great fan base and we get great
reason
feedback and whatnot.
There's no reason why
everyone.
any of it can't happen.
Exactly. We'll see. Watch this space, guys. If Gal hasn't got 5 fucking kids by then. Right, let's go to the top 5s.
It's time for a top 5.
So this is our top 5 top 5 episodes of M.T.V.B. Go cool, because you've not been around for season 7.
Right.
What we do for season 7 now is we roll the dice.
Okay.
The 20-sided dice from Hellfire Club, aka Stranger Things.
Okay.
And whoever gets the highest goes first, and we go clockwise from there. So
nice.
Big Gal.
It's the same.
Big Gal gets a 6.
Hey.
So your turn, sir. Roll that dice.
Oh my god. Get to roll the dice.
Ooh. 15. 15. Beat 15. 16.
Hey.
Go on, John. Beat your 16. 3. So it's me.
Damn.
So go first. Damn it. It kind of makes sense now. And that wasn't edited, by the way, guys. That legitimately happened. So, if we don't mention your favourite moment from M.T.V.B. or your favourite episode, fuck you. You should have been on this episode. Number 5.
I do think that's funny.
Number 5.
Right, my first episode. Well,
amazing.
my number 5 of favourite episodes from M.T.V.B. I'm going to be a bit cheeky with this one, and I'm just going to go with straight out the first episode of Commentary Corner, which was the Predator episode.
Nice.
Is it your number 5?
No, it's
Don't say anything. No, don't say
okay.
anything. We'll come to you if it comes to you. Is it your 5? No, okay. Right, so anyway, I put this on there because, like I said earlier on, Commentary Corner was a gamble. It is a different type of episode that is not for you just ordinary, just to listen to a podcast, whatnot. It is designed for you to watch the movie with you. And I kind of approached Big J about this at first, and because he loves that movie, and I thought, I had this idea. What do you think would be the first movie we could do for this, just to get people to listen to or watch along with us and whatnot?
Yeah.
What do you think would be really good? And he says, like, I think maybe Predator, because we talk about it a lot. It's one of my favourites. Why don't we go with that? And you and I have some interesting facts about it, he said. So I said, all right, let's do that then. So I designed the poster. I got the same guy that did our poster for the podcast to do the Country Corner one. And I thought, let's just do it. we can do an episode, and if it doesn't get that many views or listens or whatnot, we just stop. We don't have to do it.
Right.
So the big announcement came out, whatnot, and we done the episode. And for the first time doing that, I think it's a cracking episode. You know, there are good times had by all. Everyone is laughing their ass off. John is getting mullered by Big Gal in that episode. There are did you know facts in there. You know, through the fucking eyeball. There's like, did you know this? Did you know that? Or I said this stupidly, and or I said that. And then Biggie obviously done a YouTube video where he Sweded Predator. So he was talking about that as well, and he was getting into it. There is not one gap in that commentary corner because we are just like talking all the way through it. It's a movie we all love. Yeah. It was a movie that we had so many facts on at the end of the day, and you know it was such a gamble doing commentary corner because it could have been shit basically. But I could have gone with episode 2, which is technically my favourite, which is the Jurassic Park episode. But you can't deny commentary corner wouldn't be where it is now without episode 1, Predator 1. Yeah. So I think that had to go in there in the top 5 at least. Yeah. I know it's a bit cheesy because it's not really an M.T.V.B. episode. Yeah. It's a commentary corner episode, but it is the sideshow of M.T.V.B. Yeah. That's why it's on there.
Absolutely.
That is my number 5. John, what's your number 5, sir?
My number 5 was, yeah.
Was,
is.
Because I want to say when it was.
Okay.
It was season 6,
episode
7, and it was on the 17th of April this year, 23.
Okay.
Recent.
And it's the movies that made us cry.
Oh,
okay.
Yes, that was a good episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And it mainly because of what my number 1 was. Because the effect it had on my family. And
the dog one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Marley and me.
That's right.
I mean, that episode was kind of like an easy one to pick to start with because it sort of, it hit home with me quite a lot.
Yeah.
And then like I was saying in the episode, I mean, I watched the trailers for all of my 5 again to catch up. So, and I couldn't watch the trailer for it because I remembered it so well because of its impact it had on my family. And I remember telling people, you know, that I couldn't watch the trailer for it again because of how deep it was and so on, you know. And yes, so the episode sort of like, you know, it stood out for me really. It was a good fun episode. I enjoyed doing it.
Was it an episode you come up with?
It might have been actually.
I think it might have been because I don't remember writing that episode.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, but I didn't expect when I actually got to my number 1.
I remember.
I didn't expect that to be so deep, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because I'd come up with the five episodes pretty easy. Especially the number 1. That was always going to be my number 1 anyway. I worked on the other 4. And then going through from 5 to 4 to 3 to 2, that was fine. We all had to chat and a laugh. But when I actually got to number 1, that kind of hit me really. Because now I'm having to explain myself and explain why it's my number 1.
You can tell on the episode as well.
The effect that it had on me and stuff like that. So that's why the episode stood out for me.
Nice.
And I know it's season 6, but like I say, it's the impact it had.
Yeah.
It's like it straight to
I
number
always
5.
worry about doing those sort of episodes because I struggle to like not tear up. I remember we did one about video games and my number 1. I was like, and this happened.
I think we all are to a degree. I mean, we're like big softies, really. There's
100%.
There's always something somewhere.
These episodes prove it, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That was my number 5.
Nice.
Nice. Big Gal.
My number 5.
Biggest cheers.
Again, it's one of those episodes that it wasn't like a major, like a seasonal episode. It was the review episode I really enjoyed.
Oh, yeah.
Of Last of Us.
Oh, okay.
I think we did 2 reviews.
Yes.
We did Last of Us and we did Tenant.
Yeah.
No, we didn't do Tenant in the end. We were going to, but we didn't.
Oh, okay. I thought we did.
No.
So
I was going to say, if you did, I wasn't on it. So
yeah, I think it was one that we were asking for, and
we may still do it.
I think it was me, you, my brother. I think it was Nash there. No, he wasn't.
No, it was little G, and
I think I'm not sure if I was.
You wasn't on it, no.
I think I've watched it since
as well.
And it was just one that it was very controversial game.
Yeah,
and it was one that I think we were two, like we were divided,
Absolutely.
and I was just asking.
I
"Oh,
remember
Ant, come on,
now, yeah.
we got to start doing a review."
Yeah.
And credit to Ant, he was like, "All right, let's do it. Get the guys, do it."
Yeah.
And I was well excited for this. Because talking about top 5 games is good, but we're talking about a recent game as well that you've just played.
Yeah.
You've
Yeah.
got
critique-
fresh.
It was that year as well. It came out, wasn't it? Yeah.
Exactly.
And obviously, and it was a split decision. I think Ant was on and G was on the fence about
Me and
Outlook.
Little G were, and Coach and you were.
And it's weird because them two are normally the opposite end, but they were like together on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh,
You know,
God.
we were like,
Little G and Ant.
Yeah.
Blah.
it was a hot,
Not flamethrowing me.
It was a hot
Hot and
debate.
cold,
It
mate.
was-
Isn't it? Yeah.
It was, and I think one of the quotes I say, it's I still crack up. I think I said, "Oh, how is Abby so big when Little G's trying to put on muscle?" So it's stuff like that, and I just
Brilliant.
generally enjoyed that sort of
Yeah.
different take on the
fun.
episode,
Yeah.
and getting. Very not fiery debate, but like how to see everyone else's opinion, and
Yeah.
it's because we're surrounded by social media, and we all follow IGN, and when you go in there, listen to their podcast, which I do, or they always some of them always say this, and you never see the actual behind, like what's the word, like a full on, because we
blown-out
actually
review.
talk about everything
Behind the
He
scenes.
talks in detail.
Yeah.
we
We're
went
talking
into so
about-
much detail
Yeah.
in that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even like the science
And nothing
of
was
it,
held back.
like-
I don't think I edited that episode, so nothing was cut out.
Everything was raw.
And everything was just
original.
heated at one point, and
Yeah.
I think I got to a
Yeah.
point like, how can you go through all this killing and then even kill a pregnant woman and you still don't get your revenge at the
Yeah.
end? Fuck it! I went all out on that.
Yeah.
It was just so good. And
Has it changed your opinion since?
No, I still think it's a great game.
Okay,
I still think it's. I mean, I do take your point on it, but I still think it's good.
nice. Okay.
Good game.
I'm still waiting for it to come on
Yeah.
PC.
It will.
Oh, John, you can't do that to me when I haven't done that. Hey!
From
I knew it
episode
was-
1.
It had to come at some point.
and I
hadn't
do.
it? It's
I
been
do.
in nearly every other episode.
Yeah.
And I believe it's a short episode as well, but it was
It's like 45 minutes long, if
It's
that.
decent.
Yeah.
It's a good review. Go check
Short
it out.
and quick.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Get that plug-in in.
Nice.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Salt and
I was
Street.
to say, if we get it in early enough, I'm happy to carry on with
Yeah.
game
But it's-
reviews in
but it's
today.
some-
Is
one-
the issue.
I think that's a good idea.
No, but one thing
Yeah.
Ant said as well is like it requires for game. It requires everyone to
Oh
play
yeah,
it.
of course.
So it
Yeah.
can't be just me and Ant.
No.
So it needs you to play. It needs it
Yeah.
needs a
It
couple
needs
of
to be
us
a
to
full
play.
house, right?
So whereas
People to
movie
play
is
it.
maybe
Yeah.
doable, but again, how it's full.
Yeah, it's
guys
like,
to
like,
play.
Yeah, 'cause-
like we'd have seen films and we might have seen TV shows, but like
Yeah.
we've all got different consoles and PCs
Yeah.
and whatever. So the chances that we've all played the same game,
And
regardless of
it's
platform, is very rare.
Yeah.
And it's harder to get episodes with all of us in it
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
like, again, you don't have certain games
No.
you've never played. Where, like, fighting games, we done a episode on season 1 about fighting games.
Oh, I
You've never played a
remember
fighting game, but that's what I'm saying. So we
Yeah.
have to try and get someone
Yeah,
to
yeah,
replace
yeah.
you and stuff. So
Yeah.
now, and I hate getting people replaced. It's not on purpose.
No.
It's just
Yeah.
the fact that we need an extra person for that time that does have some sort of
Oh,
knowledge
the
of it, isn't
episode,
it?
And
the episode comes first.
And it works for these other companies or people who do YouTube because they get to see that film really early before the
Yeah, of course they do, yeah.
So
they're able to do a
get
proper
the game
review.
early. So
They'll have been
Yeah.
playing it for 2-3 weeks.
and
probably.
I get that. I do get that. Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Nice.
Very
Good
good.
shout, sir.
Good
Right.
one. Nice.
Back to go cool.
So yeah, my number 5. Yeah, guess what? It has been mentioned. It was the
Oh.
episodes that made you cry.
Oh, was it?
The movies that
Movies that made you cry.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
oh wow.
And that one had to make an effort because I think for that one we
Yeah.
all related to that. But I
Yeah.
remember that one specifically. I remember like the first time I properly listened to it, I was listening to it with Anna actually, and
Yeah.
we both like related to a lot of what we
Wow,
said because
okay.
we were there just looking at each
Yeah.
other. And funnily enough, it was the moment where John mentioned about Marley and me.
Yeah.
I remember Anna just looked at me and went like that, and I was
Oh,
like, "I'm
yeah.
telling
I
you."
didn't realise she listens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
nice.
she
Oh,
had
nice.
that episode, like, because I was like, oh yeah, by the way, I do a podcast. Like, really? And we're having McDonald's, and
I love it. I do a podcast.
I do a podcast.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
You
I might have
sly
missed
devil,
about 80%
Did
of
you go
it,
to go?
but
Did you know?
Did you know? that
I've actually been on the podcast for like 6 seasons.
I only appear in 20% of the episodes. But yeah, it was like, what was good about that was like, we all kind of like had a moment,
Yeah.
that we could relate to and stuff. And a lot of us, the reason I had to put it in because there was a lot of human that I heard in that episode. A lot of
Yeah.
us came out, like you said, the human came out and it
warts
was
and all that,
emotional
yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
great and it was raw. Same time we laughed and there was every emotion was filled in that episode.
I think so. I
you
think
know?
you're right, yeah.
Exactly. And I think if people were to listen to that, they can really relate, especially after everything that's happened in the past 3 years since we started, you know.
Yeah.
So much shit has happened, like to all of us, like with this pandemic clouding everything, you know, but we got through it and look where we are. At the same time, we can do that episode and reflect back on it. And it was great, and just shows how much of big softies we really are. Which is great.
It is, isn't it?
Exactly.
We're a bunch of geeks that, you know, have a soft spot. Some, you know,
Absolutely.
Exactly. We're not all tough guys, you know.
Absolutely, yeah. We're humans, so that was great. So that had to be
nice. That's a good shout, sir.
Totally agree. Yeah, good one.
Let's move to number 4s then.
Number 4.
My number 4 is season 1. Episode 16, and it's, again, I'm going to be like cheeky with this, and it's the first ever Spooktacular season episode,
nice.
Which was on Nightmare on Elm Street series of movies. Now, I wanted to go. So again, this is going to be a little. Did you know? When I started M.T.V.B, I initially wanted to do some sort of series to do with horror. Horror films are sort of films I kind of grew up with and whatnot, and also there's a guy on YouTube called the Angry Video Game Nerd who does every year. He used to do a thing through Halloween, the whole of the month of October. He would do a video every day, so 31 videos about monster movies, horror movies and whatnot, and he calls it Monster Madness.
Right.
Go back and watch it on YouTube. There's like 7 seasons out of it. It's fucking awesome. One of them is about, you know, 80s horror films. One's about, you know, Godzilla, all just Godzilla films, all that sort of stuff and whatnot. Fantastic. And I absolutely love watching this. And I just thought to myself, I would love to do something like this. I'll never get my own YouTube show at the end of the day. Why don't I incorporate it with...
You'll never know.
Why don't I incorporate it with the podcast and see if I can get a couple of guys who would do this with me. Now, my friends at the time who did this for me was Steve and Tim. Steve and Tim are, again, big horror fans and knew the franchise of Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger movies so well, like even better than me, and I know these movies off by heart. So to get them down and to talk about all 7, maybe 8, technically, Nightmare on Elm Street movies was a blast. And, you know, the thing was is like, how do we do this? Because if we talk about them all the way through, it's going to be a fucking long episode. But to talk about it like the things we liked, the things we hated, how bad the next sequel was, or who played them, how cheesy the acting was, it was like, this is it. I was like, I sat there, and when all 3 of us were getting into these conversations, like, I've got my Monster Madness now. I was just looking around in my head, saying that to myself. It's like, and then when we did that, and it's like, oh, do you want to do? They're so interested. Oh, what's the next? When's the next one? I was like, oh, you want to do another one? He's like, yeah, come on, let's do Jason, let's do Michael Myers, let's do this and that and whatnot. And then it just kind of kicked off from there. How some of them did it the season after. Then obviously we got to do. Got Simon back on it as well because he's a friend of mine who loves the Evil Dead films, so we got him to do an Evil Dead episode with me. Dave, who is with us now, he loves horror, so him as well as John loves horror. Are doing Monster Madness, Spooktacular with us. Last year we couldn't do it because David had the accident, so it felt bad if we did the season without him. It would kind of like shame on him for like missing out on him, and I didn't want him to miss out. So we did horror commentary corner instead, didn't we? Which you, Gal, came on for, did a couple of those as well. Very much appreciated, sir. But I'm not like hugely into horror. I mean, I love my sci-fi, I love my fantasy and whatnot, but I just love that show of horror, and the fact that I got it into somewhere in my life, you know, because like I said, too much time and effort, and I don't want to copy the guy who's on YouTube to be like me. So I thought if I could just do it on a podcast, be much easier, and I have a blast with it every year. I look forward to Spooktacular every year, and you know, when we put that little non-copyrighted, you know, spooky music on, you know, and it's all, here we go. It's October, it's Halloween, let's do this. I love Halloween, by the way.
So. I do look forward to the Spooktacular every year. So
that is why it's my number 4. It had to go in there.
Very nice, very nice.
Short but sweet.
Nice.
John, what's your number 4, sir?
My number 4 was The Predator.
Oh, it was Comedy Corner. Nice.
Yeah, I did enjoy that. It was a good fun episode. Like you say, it was the first one we did. I think, like, you know, we were trying it out, and I think it went really well. I think we had a good laugh. I think we were giggling at each other and laughing most of the way through the film. Because again, we'd seen it all before, but it was quite nice to do, like I'd said earlier. It was nice to take a commentary side to the film because, like, people just don't look at them anymore. because it's all Netflix and Prime. They watch the film, that's it, done. They're on to the next thing. And there's so much into these films, regardless of when they were made and who made them or anything like that. But there's so many like, did you know this and did you know that and so on. And I really enjoyed the episode. That's why it kind of stood out for me. I know we've done a few since, but yeah, the first one kind of sticks in your head a little bit, doesn't it? So,
I remember when I stopped recording that episode and I thought to myself, this is going to be so shit listening back on it.
I never thought that,
but no, because we have it up loud, don't we? So when you listen to the episode, you can actually hear the movie in the background. So it's not like we're making this shit up as we go along.
You can't hear it that much.
No, of course not. It's not. But you know it's there, isn't it? And when you listen back to it, it was like, fuck, this was actually a bit of a blast to listen to be honest.
It was fun.
If you're familiar with the movie, then you don't technically need to watch it. No. You can just hear the reactions we had to it, sort of thing.
To be fair, you say press your play button now, so they can't be far off. It might be seconds.
Yeah. So it's always that little warning beforehand, isn't it? Yeah.
Make sure you've got your disc in your player. Get ready to press play when I say. So
pretty good.
I would like to think that most people anyway, or at least have actually watched it and listened along to us.
Yeah.
Because I think we have a laugh with every episode we do anyway, but I do think that commentary corner, it's spawned, like you say, you can is it or isn't it gonna work? And I think it did. I think it really, really did.
Plus, I'd like to point out it's not just movies I pick. We always on the WhatsApp we say, what do we do? What should we do? We've done a couple for Gal. We've done one for Godzilla for you and Biggie. We did one for Dave, which was Mad Max Fury Road, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. I think Gokul picked Matrix at one point. We did that with him as well.
So good.
So it's not just my pick. I know some of them are like my favourite movies and stuff.
We do have an input,
but we all put in, don't we? So
exactly.
Yeah. So that's my number 4. There isn't really much more to say.
No, we've pretty much said much about it. So nice pick, sir.
Yeah. I'm amazed that that's in a sense that's like 2 clashes in it. When you consider 99 episodes and we've already clashed on 2. So that's quite
we'll throw in honorable mentions afterwards as well.
Yeah.
So
there's a reason why it was one of your popular episodes, because it's my number 4 as well.
There you go. So
there you go.
Yeah, it has to be.
I think it hits you like you say. I mean, this has always been your baby, and like you said earlier, you approached us and said, "Oh, what do you guys think?" And you said yourself, you thought we were going to go, you're having a laugh, aren't you? But we all kind of took it on board and said, no, mate, I think this could be fun.
I listened back to it.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, it made me laugh. There's moments where like you
especially the comment I made that
gorillas that skin humans alive. That is got gorillas were like actual
I legitimately thought that as well.
And the way he explains it, oh my god, there's gorillas in there that skin, and then you're like, can gorillas climb up?
Those kind of gorillas. Oh my god.
And there's a legit question I asked John, and it just spirals out of control because he goes,
what kind of guns are you carrying now?
And he's like, are you being serious or you? No, I'm being serious, John.
But they were taking.
He names it, and then they're like, you're like, oh, how do you know that's real? He could be just making it up, and then you're like, he could be the PE and and from there it just goes escalates, and it goes about the guy he's drinking something, and he's like, yeah, that's what Indians drink.
Oh yeah.
There's Indians in the jungle or something, isn't it?
No. You were asking about how did he know where he was, or he's tracking him or something, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I said, well, that's what Red Indians do. And
no. You didn't say Red Indians, you said Indians, and we all took it as, how do you know that's Indians? And then we came back.
I think Ed took it out of the episode, actually.
Oh, it was
no, because I said something about him being naturally tanned or something.
John, don't, because I've got to cut this out again. No, it's when you say about Indians in the jungle, then you hear Big in the background going, John, there's no Indians in the jungle.
Yeah, but that's not what I meant. But yeah,
it's pure madness.
And for context, guys, in case any of you aren't aware, 2 people around the table are Sri Lankan. Okay, so it's not like it's not a racist comment. They're my friends.
He's covering himself well because Biggie asked, so you think Gal is Indian?
Yeah, but like I said, that's not.
Brilliant.
I meant Red Indians as opposed, and our man. It was so, but it was just such a funny episode.
And that was just like the first, I reckon, the first 15 minutes.
Oh yeah,
because I was like trying to remember things.
Yeah, because Ant was going like, "Do you remember this bit, and we were like, we were just pissing ourselves.
And the thing was, do you remember when before we hit the record button, I was like, we can't not stop talking because we can't have gaps.
No,
because people would just get bored and turn off. Like I said, the first 2 commentary corners were constant. And then we kind of dip in the later ones, one sort of thing. But that is just,
it was amazing.
It's such an entertaining episode. It's
very,
like,
very funny,
and it's not staged. It's just natural guys. Just enjoying what they talk, like you're watching.
This is the thing,
and just comedy between us.
Yeah,
it's brilliant. It's something you would see in like a TV show.
When Biggie J talks about him going blackface for his Sweden episode.
And I swear to God, he looks like him.
He does, bro.
I've not seen it, but obviously I heard. Obviously,
and again, your amazing those bastard trees.
I remember when you said that, and I never thought that, but when you said that you thought that, I'm thinking, yeah, actually, he's got a point, and I think that made it funnier. Do you know what I mean? It was a very good episode.
It's golden, mate.
It's golden episode.
It's perfect as it is. So yeah,
amazing. Yeah.
So what's it going to be? Is it going to be Predator?
Come on. It's the same one, isn't it?
Oh. It's something different. It's the top 5 action movies.
So that's the episode we mentioned about too many people being on it.
Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah, that was the one. Yeah.
What
There's
season?
Something about that.
Season 1.
It was one of the first.
Was I on that one? Might have been.
You was there.
Yeah, everyone was there. That was like a full house.
That's the first episode Nash was on.
Hello, my name is Nash.
That's where that episode starts, isn't it?
And he talks about his dad loving the Terminator films.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, it was something about that. It was really good. Just going through all the action movies. And
I think
the theme of it.
I think that was the first episode that got feedback.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, it was something like, how come 5 people around the table like Fast and Furious movies?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and everyone had
I assure you guys, it's not scripted. Okay, we get a choice of 5 or 6 headings, we pick one, and then we all do a little bit of homework and we put it all together today.
That's what it was.
It's literally me telling you what the episode is, and then you go do the rest of it.
Yeah, and it's not scripted. The laughs are genuine, the fun is genuine, the friendship is genuine. Everything is good. It's 100%.
What's funny about the episode is, you're right, all 3 of us mention it.
Yeah.
And we hate Fast and the Furious.
We actually don't like
we rip the shit out of it on the podcast.
Yeah.
But it was in your top 5 action movies.
Oh my God,
brilliant.
that's hilarious.
Yeah. It was so good.
But no, I think most of us chose Tokyo.
Tokyo Drift.
Yeah. They had that on it. Yeah.
Because I'd like to redo the episode just with a smaller group next time, maybe. Yeah.
And a bit more focused on.
But again, that was a learning curve thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
No, it was. It was the first time with 8 of us there at once, and we still got it down to under 3 hours somehow for some reason.
I think 4 is enough, and like you say, a 5th or maybe even a 6th on it. Very.
It can't have been 8 people, was it? 8 people?
Yeah.
It was actually a full house,
because Biggie and Nash.
Everyone was sharing mics at the end of the day.
Yeah.
This is before we had mic stands.
And Kurge and Little G were here, weren't they? So
that's
8 of us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
brilliant. So why was it on your list? Sorry.
So that was a good episode. I thought it was because it was the first time we were doing it. I remember being really excited about the episode, and I think my number 1 movie, because I just wanted to talk about that, was Speed. I just wanted to know being the best action movie,
amazing film.
Such a good
movie. In fact,
movie.
there's an episode we could do a commentary corner on.
That would be
100% is happening.
God, that is so happening.
I've got it on 4K, man.
We're going to do Speed 1 and 2.
Cruise Control.
I don't care what people say.
Exactly.
Yep. Okay.
The best tagline for a movie: Cruise Control. Yeah. But that's my number 4. Yeah, it's
nice.
Sweet.
Yeah, good man.
Short but sweet. Let's go to number 3 then.
Number 3.
My number 3 is literally something we literally just talked about, sir.
Yeah.
It is season 4, episode 6, and it is the movie sequels you love, but everyone hates.
Oh, brilliant.
I love listening back to this episode so much, and I love how we kind of put them out there, but we're scared to get people's reactions out of it. So every time we mention an entry, we're like waiting for people like to go, do they like it or not, sort of thing.
Yeah.
You and me, Gokul, had like a connection with that episode because we talked about Speed. I think Speed 2 was my number 5 or number 4. You went, nobody say man. The way you talked about it, and then you started singing UB40, and it made me laugh and whatnot. It was so funny. And then John made me laugh because he was like, my number 1 is Highlander 2. I'll never watch it again, but it's my number 1 it's my number 1 favorite sequel that everyone hates.
I never watched it again.
I'll never watch it again, but his reactions, that was brilliant. And
but that's the thing. I was trying to think of a film that we'd all hate.
Yeah.
But that I obviously enjoyed watching it. And like I said, I was honest. I wouldn't watch it again. I think twice was enough. But yeah, no, it was.
Obviously when I revealed my number 1, I got a shit ton of backlash for it, and I knew I would, but at the end of the day, I stated my case, and I still stand with it now that it is still my favourite sequel that everyone loves, everyone hates, sort of thing. And I just really, really enjoyed it. I loved to. It was nice. It was like getting that chest, that weight off your chest,
Yeah.
Like, I like these movies, and I don't care if you don't, sort of thing.
I'm just gonna
because I know a friend of mine is huge into Ghostbusters 1. I love Ghostbusters 2, so I thought, fuck it, so Ghostbusters 2 is going into that. I can't remember what else I put on there, but it was nice to just go, here it is, this is why it's my favourite. And I have so many people saying that we need to do part 2 of it as well. Yeah. And Howard would like to do it. I think Howard said he wanted to come on an episode as well at one point. So we need to do another one as well at some point.
Yeah.
But that connection with you, Gokul, when we had that Speed 2 connection, I thought I'd be the only guy who likes Speed 2. And the fact that I found another person that likes Speed 2, I was like, yes!
Finally
get
someone
in
else.
there!
Exactly. Yeah. Something about making that cruise ship, which is the most mundane thing in the world, because you're sitting there and it's full of old people on retirement holidays, but they made it so badass.
That's it. And then you start singing UB40, you just wet myself. You're like, wise man, sing.
That was so good. I was like, even to the music, that was brilliant.
So good.
I generally thought that UB40 made that song. Clearly,
you never see him come off the boat either.
Yeah, brilliant.
Oh, mate,
what a great cameo.
And that was another tribute to the guy I followed on YouTube. He'd done an episode. He'd done a top 10. Okay. So when we did it down to 5, it was fucking tough because there's so many more sequels I could come up with that I love that everyone hates. But hence why I would love to do a part 2 at some point between episodes 100 and 200 if you can. But I can't deny I had a lot of fun with that episode, and I had a lot of fun with my feedback from it of mine and what my number 1 was.
What was it?
Indiana Jones Kingdom of Crystal Skull.
Yes.
It was like, I get feedback. Do you know, I still get feedback from people that when we did Judge Dredd Commentary Corner, why didn't we do the Carl Urban one? Why did you pick the Stallone one?
In fact, we should do it.
We will. We will do it.
I must admit, I like them both, but I kind of, I think I prefer the Carl Urban one.
Yeah, we all do. We all do the other day.
Yeah, you kind of ruined it when the flame goes the other way. Yeah, I kind of killed the movie. Remember when they're going through the drains and you're like, watch this.
I told you about it. I can't deny I really enjoyed doing that episode, and I look forward to doing a part 2 for it. Amazing. And John, what is your number 3, sir?
My number 3 is the Christmas episode.
Nice! That's an honourable mention for me. Yeah,
great. Yeah,
that was
the top 5.
20th of December, 2021.
That was the top 5 Christmas movies, wasn't it?
Yeah. That was a good episode.
That was quite. I remember going into that thinking, I think we're going to have a good laugh.
That was a great.
I came out with a couple of recommendations.
We. Yeah.
Yes, we watched Klaus because of you, sir. Yes. Because you mentioned it. My daughter and I watched that every year since then.
Fantastic film.
Fantastic. That has to be the movie you watch every Christmas and stuff.
Definitely. Because of you, sir, we found that.
It's on my list to watch every year.
Exactly.
If it wasn't for M.T.V.B, we wouldn't know about it.
That's the thing.
Exactly.
Spread the word.
Yeah.
Mate, I love the ending to that Christmas episode, because when I talk about my number 1, which was Home Alone, Lost in New York, by the way, and I do all the quotes from it, and it's me cracking up and cracking up and cracking up to every single fucking episode. Every single line.
Funny. Such a funny episode.
Harry, you wearing aftershave? That's not aftershave, it's kerosene. The rope is soaked in it.
The rope is soaked in it.
Now, why would anyone suck a rope with kerosene?
Joe Pesci.
So me and Gal we had this bet, didn't we? That which one was going to be John's number one?
Oh, you all knew what's the number one.
Well, we contemplate because it's like it's going to be this one, but which one?
Yeah, that's it.
It was going to be.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, yeah. I get you.
What one was? Did we get it right though?
No, I don't think we did.
He switched it around.
I think he switched it around because he knew we changed it. But sorry, Karen, John, why is it on the list, sir?
Because I think it was because, like you said, it was a fun episode. I think I kind of I glossed over my bit, sort of thing. But I just remember you just dying laughing at your selection, and it being infectious. And we all laughing. I also remember come up with Klaus, such a great film, which I've watched at least twice since.
Yeah, since and
I think I'll watch it every Christmas now because it's such a great film, and I'd never heard of it until you mentioned it.
Yeah. It's so
and I just think it was just such a fun episode to do. Plus, like you said, we'd been in lockdown and we'd been off of not seen each other for a while, so it's quite nice to get back together and put an episode together again. You know,
absolutely, yeah. Back.
Yes, you are right because. Oh fuck! I need to get the button ready. Did you know?
Yeah.
That we actually had that episode planned for the year before, but because we'd gone to tier 4,
that's right. Yeah,
we had to wait a whole year to have that done.
Yeah,
and I was so annoyed because I paid for non-copyrighted Christmas music and whatnot, and I think I actually mentioned in the episode saying I've been waiting a year to press that button.
Yeah, that's right.
So we actually had that planned for the year before.
That's when we had that sudden lockdown, the
right.
one that took place within 4 hours, and everyone had to run to their house.
That's right, and we had to get Christmas done in a day.
Yeah,
that was so annoying. That was.
My goodness,
that was a big year.
So
big year
that was 1 year in the making.
I was absolutely gutted when we couldn't do that episode, but I'm glad we got to do it the year after. You know.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So it was just such a fun. It was a fun episode, you know. I think I think every one of us I think we all had a good laugh.
It was so good, proper Christmas spirit.
It did, and it's a shame that we haven't sort of carried on with the Christmas thing. But then we can't think of topics. I mean, I've carried it on. I've tried to carry on with the other subjects, like the year after I did the top 5 board games you would play at Christmas and whatnot. But I can't think of TV shows for Christmas or anything again to do with movies and for Christmas, whatnot.
It would have to be a particular episode if it's a TV show, obviously a Christmas one.
Or maybe top 5, top 5 movies that take place at Christmas. Who knows?
Yeah,
exactly.
like Prometheus takes place during Christmas.
That are not Die Hard. Movies that aren't Die Hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a possibility, maybe.
I'm banned from using Die Hard.
I mean, this year's Christmas episode is the 100th episode, so there we go.
Yeah, true.
Exactly.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Is it really? No,
it is really.
Oh, it is.
But this was an honourable mention. This was so close to being in the top 5 for me. Yeah. So it would have been number 6 if we had a top 10. Definitely. Good pick, sir.
Oh, right.
Nice.
Biggest Gius, number 3, sir.
My number 3 is emotional moments video games.
Oh, you put it in! Nice!
Episode 10.
Nice!
And I think this one is quite a special one for me, I think, because there's moments in video games where, like, not really you talk about emotional side of it.
Especially video games.
Yeah, and I knew your number 1 straight away.
I mean, come on, everyone knew what it was when you walked in the door.
Yeah, to get an understanding of everyone's as well. Like, I think you were on that episode, Coco. I think there's a couple of ones you
absolutely.
mentioned. And I think my one was Spider-Man. I think it was emotional.
Yeah, someone's had Spider-Man. Someone had Ori, Will of the Wisps.
That's
as well, whatnot.
Ori,
It was just, just to talk about, I know everyone's quite good. I just felt like my explanation on how the difference between a good video game, which Batman and Spider-Man is, what made Spider-Man more good was that a specific moment in the video game which elevated the game for me more than Batman Arkham Asylum, which is a banging game. But that moment where he realizes Aunt May knew, and the choice he had to do, which is to save a million people or one. And, what does Spider-Man do? He does what he has to do. Yeah. And ultimately, Aunt May dies. But knowing that she knew all along that he was Spider-Man.
That was sick.
Yeah.
It gets me every single time. And what's annoying as well is there's an episode. Oh no, I can't go into it. Actually,
Is it later episode?
It's in my number
okay.
Later on. But yeah, it was just quite nice for me to make that point across. And
but there's an other side to video games.
Yeah,
emotional side,
which is not you don't always see, and it's quite nice to hear everyone's point and obviously put my voice on that as well.
Nice. It's a good chat, mate. Again, it was such an eye opener because then when again I think we got to number 2, number 1 for me. I was so hard not to croak up. It was just and it's weird how a video game affects you like that. Because when you think of video games, you don't think of shit like that.
And action, that's what you think. And they're like, when it does it.
So I'm going to go steal someone's car and kill a prostitute. And it's like, this guy,
no. He says he chose his cousin over some woman or something in the GTA. That was his point.
Oh, that's right. The end of GTA. GTA 4.
3. 4, yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, this guy.
This guy of all people, eh?
That's fun.
Amazing. Good shout, sir.
Good episode.
Good shout.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, cool. Your number 3, sir.
My number 3. Okay, this episode, I remember being so excited about it. And it was one of those where I knew it was going to be a great episode. And it was better than I expected. It was the top 5 movie twists.
Oh,
episode.
Good shout. Yes.
Oh, my goodness. That was such a good episode. Because I remember, for me, like, what I love when I'm watching a movie is when it has a good twist. When you're advertised about there being a twist, when you're told about it, but most importantly, when you don't expect it. And then I remember just like really attentively listening to every single one of us and every single number of movie that was mentioned, and just taking it on board and making like a physical note of movies that I need to watch because of the ending. Yeah, I mean, what was interesting is because in a sense it was being spoiled because we were talking about the ending. This is
the issue, yeah,
exactly. But at the same time, it was nice to kind of rewatch it. So when you see it, you're kind of seeing how the twist is coming about. So I remember coming home, and I remember that in the space of a month after that episode, a lot of those movies that I mentioned by you guys I actually did end up watching and stuff. I can't remember what it was now, but I have it on the list. And
I think it was The Game or something.
Exactly, The Game.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, that dropped on Netflix a week after, because I remember just typing in like some other game thing. I think there was a video game documentary. I remember typing GAM on Netflix search, and then The Game came up, and I was like, hold on, we just did this.
There we go. Did you actually watch it in the end?
And I watched it in the end.
Nice.
Absolutely. Well, great. Incredible. That's it. And then rewatching, a lot of like M. Night Shyamalan movies, because whether the twists are really like obvious or they're really bait or they're really good, like in Sixth Sense, it's just amazing. And just watching it and trying.
I think you had 2 of these in your top 5. I think you had Sixth Sense and The Village was in there.
That's right, and The Village, because I mean The Village. Even till I was watching it recently and just thinking the whole.
I like
idea
Village. The Village is underrated.
Oh my god, it's so underrated. Yeah, it's this idea that like you're seeing a moving. You think it's a horse carriage, a point of view from a horse. No, you hear the hum of an engine. It's a Jeep. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? Was that a time machine? No. Like,
brilliant.
It was really like, wow, that was really, really, it was a good episode. I remember all of us, kind of enjoying that one.
Yeah, those episodes they're such a gamble because, like you said, you talk about, we do the spoiler warning beforehand. Yeah. But it's a gamble of like when we say what it is and then we talk about it afterwards because... Do we lose listeners because, I don't want to hear this now, I'll wait to watch it and then go back into it, whatnot? Yeah. Or do they not watch the movie because we've spoiled the ending for them? Right. I don't think we went into every ending. I think there was a couple we didn't mention.
Yeah, that's right.
But I kind of feel bad about that episode because I mentioned a movie called The Mist and it has a very shocking ending. And I think I shouldn't have said what it was, but I explained what it is.
Okay.
And I'm kind of gutted that I'm kicking myself that I actually explained what it was, right. And I don't think if people listen to that episode and then watch it, we'll get the same effect now because they know it's coming.
Right.
So I'm a bit pissed off with that personally.
Okay.
But
yeah.
But another honourable mention for me. I mean, I love how people get excited for what happens at the end of movies and to hear their reactions to it and whatnot.
Exactly.
But it's a good shout. So
good. Yeah,
very very good shout.
Thank you. Yeah.
Let's move on. We on number 2 already? Let's do this.
Number 2.
Right, my number 2 is season 1, episode 8, and it is the Blockbuster Video episode.
Great episode.
This was the first M.T.V.B that doesn't have the synthwave intro to start the episode. It actually has an advert for Blockbuster Video to start with.
Brilliant intro.
And then it kicks in with, you're listening to M.T.V.B.
Yeah.
This episode touches my heart a bit because going back to when we were recording for season 1. We were going during COVID and whatnot. Now, even though 2020 was COVID, we couldn't get to see people whatnot. In 2019, apart from when we had our games nights and whatnot, I kind of kept to myself a lot. Now, I don't know why. I think I was just busy with other things and whatnot, and then I technically had just started 2 jobs then at the time as well. But I never really got to see a lot of my friends. And then obviously my daughter was diagnosed with being disabled and whatnot, so we had to someone had to be home with her at all times now, sort of thing. I just wasn't spending time with friends or doing stuff on my time, apart from playing video games or watching movies and whatnot. And I kind of felt really, really bad about it because I had missed friends that I am still friends with today, i.e. via Blockbuster, or wasn't getting to spend time with you guys as much as I could have done for that year. And I don't know why. I look back at it now and I just can't think why. But then obviously COVID hit and I thought, well, that's another year not getting to see people who I want to see. Yeah. So another reason to do a podcast was to see people that I want to see and talk to people about stuff that we love. And the fact that I have got to meet my friends again, I've got to spend time with you guys as well, where it's not about board games or video games or anything like that at all, like we used to do before the podcast and whatnot. Yeah. So when I got to see the Blockbuster guys, they all knew, I advertised it on Facebook or whatnot, that I've got a podcast now, and the first thing they all came back to me says, we need to do a Blockbuster episode. You're going to talk about movies, TV shows, video games. Why don't you nostalgia episode about Blockbuster? Good idea. And who better to do it than with people that worked at Blockbuster? Okay? Every single person that's on that episode worked with me at Blockbuster. How I'm still friends with them to this day. That was 23 years ago I started that job. And how I'm still friends with them to this day. Yeah. At the end of the day, it was reminiscent about customers we used to deal with, people you used to work with, some of the deals we used to do. The fact when Blockbusters used to rent pornos to people and stuff like that. Awkward moments in the store. Yeah. Such a major flashback and a huge nostalgia build for this. And not just my opinions, everyone else who was around that table at the time as well. Yeah. And at the end of the day, it was just such a great feel to spend time with these guys. I hadn't seen them in 2 years at the time when we did the episode. My friend Phil, who's got his own podcast now, Xenomania, was going to do his podcast during COVID. He's got the exact same equipment as I do. He went and bought the exact same thing as well, whatnot. So essentially, I didn't have to send all this equipment with me. I just took this controller, plugged it into his, and we just recorded there and there in his house. So again, no one came to me. I came to them. I got to see my friends. I got to spend time with them. I got to talk about old times, and it was just the catch-up I needed for me. That little booster to see my friends again. I see them now. Every single one of them that was on that episode plays board games as well. They're all into the hobby and stuff as well. So that's another great buzz of doing that and getting them in touch to play board games with me and stuff like that as well. But the thing that really got me at the end of the day was the very last part of that episode is when I was talking about how I'm still friends with them to this day, how we had such an amazing job. Blockbusters was the best job I've ever had. We'll never get that sort of times again ever whatnot with a job. No one likes doing their job at the end of the day, but I loved going to Blockbuster because I wasn't just working, I was hanging out with mates and I was doing top fives and I was down talking to customers because fuck them and shit and whatnot. But again, at the very end of the episode, I actually mentioned to them at the end of the day, I spent half my life with you guys, you all came to my wedding, you're not friends, you are family. Absolutely. And then that was the first time I ever told them them to their face. And I think you hear Simon's reaction. He's like, "Oh, mate, thank you," and whatnot, sort of thing. And they still are, as well as you are, of course. But because I hadn't seen them in ages, it was sort of like a big reach out to them. That I've missed them. Absolutely. It was nice to see them. The fact that we were going through COVID, we were going through tough times, so I needed something. I needed that one thing to
to push.
We're okay. I'm sorry that I missed you guys. So that's why I kind of had to put this in there because not only is it a big nostalgia bait for me because of its Blockbusters, but a big catch up with friendship. So that's why I had to go on there. And I hope if they're listening now, it goes to show how much it means that episode is to me. And it's the third most listened episode on M.T.V.B.
Wow, nice.
Too right. It is a
great episode. Yeah. such a genius
after you listen to
episode.
it, you feel like you worked in Blockbuster.
You feel like you were there. Like you're picturing it
I've
in
always
your head.
I
right?
can relate so much because
Yeah.
all my childhood I was always in Blockbuster.
Exactly.
Yeah, same here.
Exactly.
There's one at the end of the road.
Yeah.
You got to get Speed 2 from there, didn't you?
I actually did.
You did, yeah. You said you mentioned on the episode, yeah.
Absolutely
And
did.
we've got a little
VHS.
secret as well. There was like 2 birds that used to work there. Me and him used to fancy the
Nice.
shit. Yeah.
Because I think I went in and out of your store quite a few times, but of course I didn't know you then. So
Yeah, it's true,
That's
yeah.
so good.
And that's what I'm saying. Loads of people you would... I've crossed paths
Yeah.
with. I mean, I think I've even bumped into my wife in that place a bunch of times and not ever noticed in today.
Wow.
I mean, my mates used to come in, or ex-girlfriends at the time, just used to come in for free rentals. I used to get 10 of those a week. Do you know what I'm saying? But, rentals, by the way, not women. But it's just, again, I there must be times I've crossed paths with people in that place. It's such a historical thing building at the time, and I'm kind of glad I was there when it went. You know, I was still working there when it closed down. And I'll never forget that final day
that
there.
was a sad day.
Such a sad day, but you know,
can feel that sadness when you talk about the last day on the episode.
Do you know what really hit me on that part is because a friend of mine, when we were closing the doors, there's a piece of music from Back to the Future that's a reminiscent part.
Wow.
And it goes na, 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 na. And he played that as soon as we were closing the doors and shutting all the lights down, and that just hit. Because I thought to myself, this isn't happening, this isn't real. But when that music hit,
Wow.
gone,
Damn,
mate.
man.
Absolutely gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
So my number 2 is the Blockbuster video episode.
Great choice.
Beat that, John.
Be that, John.
Follow that, John.
No. Mine is season 5, episode 5, and it's the episode where we video games we would turn into movies.
Ooh, yeah, okay. We've done this a bunch of times on the.
I think, like you say, I think from watching films and stuff, it's always been a case of who we would get to play certain roles.
Okay, because we did the actors as well, didn't we? Yes, that's right.
And it stuck with me because I had a bit like Howard had to do 2 lists.
Yes, true.
So we did a
True.
list. We did a list of the top 5 games, but then of course you got to think, well, who would you have play the part of the person in those games? So,
And we did that. We did that last minute, didn't we?
that was
Brilliant.
We did that last minute, saying, "Well, we got the movies. Let's stipulate it a bit and put the actors who we have play these people."
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Was you on that episode?
I was on
You
that
must have
episode.
been, yes, I
remember
think
that.
you was.
Yeah, because you
How
put
did I
real
forget?
life actors. That was
'Cause
a
I've
brilliant
just been
episode.
going
What was the
through-
name of that episode?
That was...
Top 5 video games you turn to movies.
Yeah.
video games
how
we
did I
were
So
turning-
forget
sick.
that?
That was so sick.
But I found my list. For some strange reason, I still had it.
Wow, what was the list?
Wow. Okay.
So
I know a couple of mine.
my number 5 was Red Dead 2, and I'd have Jeff
Bridges.
Yeah.
Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges all along in every single list.
Half-Life, and I would have Jeff Bridges. No. Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Because we said
Gordon Freeman.
he'd make a great Gordon Freeman.
Yeah.
Then my number 3 was a game I play called DayZ, and I'd have Tom Hanks play it.
That's right, yeah.
Because I play a character, and you can customize your character, and I always do him.
Oh yeah, that was a weird one.
He kind of
but
looks like Tom Hanks, so that's kind of why it stuck with that one. And then my number 2, which is where I think you all thought, we all know what his number 1's going to be, was Diablo, and you all thought it would be number 1, and I would have had what's her name, Vikander. What's her first name? She plays Tomb Raider. She was in Tomb Raider.
I can't think of her name.
Oh, the
I
recent
know you're on
one.
about
Is it
it.
Alicia Vikander or something like that? Anyway,
The most recent one?
Yeah, I would have had her play the Demon Hunter in it because I usually play a Demon Hunter in Diablo. And then my number 1 was Division, and I'd have had Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg play the main character in that one.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that episode because
I guess we better go hide.
That's so Mark Wahlberg, isn't it? That's so Mark
and I think that's
Wahlberg.
because
Let's get out
it
the
was
black
such a
zone.
laugh to do it because like Howard's known as the man with 2 lists. Well,
This was essentially the first time we had to do it, wasn't it? Yes.
I had to think twice about things, because it's like, well, it's all in good
That was
saying that particular
cracking
game is going to be on my list, but then it's like, well, who would play it?
No. Yes,
So-
because good God, why is this episode not on your list?
I know.
Because this was the episode you were coming up with trailers just
Yeah.
out the, just off the thing, and we were
Oh
playing the
my
music in
God.
the
We played the
background.
music.
And mate, you got so into it and everything.
that was
you
brilliant.
were like, because you mentioned Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
And then the guy was like, right, in the trailer, he does this, he
Yeah.
puts this in there, and he goes, good swearing good or something, and then shoots the screen.
You were
and we
in the
played the music in the
zone.
background,
So
didn't we?
good.
You went all out on
He
that.
was in the
brilliant.
Oh,
I
man.
He
forget
was
where-
in the zone.
And that wasn't just for Cyberpunk. There was another one. I think it was for your
Metal
one.
Gear.
I think he did
Metal
three or
Gear,
four-
you did one or
yeah,
something as
Metal
well.
My top one
I
is
think
Metal
he did
Gear,
3
and
or
I did
4
the cast
games.
for them.
That was
I
sick.
remember, but
Yeah.
why did I talk about the trailer?
Because you had Dave Bautista
No, because
play
you
Gears of War.
had a. There was
Yeah.
one of your options, and then you did a trailer for it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he mentioned Cyberpunk, and you're like, "Oh, I got a trailer for it."
Yeah.
And then you just go, "Listen back to it. It's really good because we play the music for it in the background."
Just
Because I think he did
Adam
Dave Bautista
Smasher.
for Gears of War.
He did, yeah.
He had
that's right.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah, because he could be Adam Smasher in that, right? It was just-
It was funny.
so
Because I was
good.
going to say, I remember G
Because
coming
I
up with
had
trailers. but
Dead
yeah.
Space, Alien Isolation was
Yeah.
my number
Yeah.
one. I
Yeah.
remember that I had a trailer pick for that and whatnot. But yeah, you went all out on that.
You know,
fucking
we were
thing.
just
That was
talking
fun.
about it, we forget about things. And
Yeah.
when
Yeah,
you
yeah,
find
yeah.
someone,
Yeah.
I'm feeling
now.
that now. I'm like, fuck,
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
completely forgot about that. So.
Yeah.
This is like I say, folks, this isn't scripted.
That was a good episode.
Yeah.
No, you had you picked God of War as
God
well.
of War.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
when I mentioned this episode to a friend of mine, he was like, "Someone better have God of War in that."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, someone's got it. Don't worry."
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, so that was a good episode. I really enjoyed that one. So
Good shout, John.
Yeah.
Good shout.
At least you
Having
put
to
it in, mate.
Brilliant,
Yeah.
good
having to
shout.
do 2 lists.
That was a good follow-up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, how am I going to beat
How are
that?
you going to beat that now? Go on. We'll get out. What's your number 2,
Come
mate?
on then.
My number 2.
While he does it, can I just say dun 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 dun? Impressive Snake.
All right. Yeah. My one is quite. Mine was an alien episode.
Yeah.
It was,
All right,
It was a bit.
An early episode or an alien
Episode
episode?
2, season 2,
Okay.
season 1,
Right.
and it was called "What It Takes to Be a Gamer."
Oh wow.
So
Yeah.
for me, because I was listening
Yeah.
to it, and it had everyone
Sick.
in it, and if you want to know, like, this is to the fans, if
Yeah.
you really want to know about us, that episode,
yeah,
if you listen to it, you get the deal of everyone, because
was it.
Ant starts off
Yeah.
with a question, right? He goes, "What it takes to be a gamer?"
Yeah.
And I kid you not, we all started laughing because John started reading the script, right?
He did. Yes, I remember
From
that.
that moment, it was about his sort of autobiography or something about his game, and everyone was like,
It
"Shit."
wasn't
I think everyone had to up
I
their
hastily
game.
add it wasn't a script. But
And
go
I
on,
think
yeah.
it was like, good God, an hour, and it was just about
wasn't an hour.
No, not just you.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you set the pace, yeah, right?
Oh, you mean in the questions?
yeah, none of the
yeah.
questions. You just
Yeah.
like your autobiography.
Because I remember little
like
G
reading your autobiography,
little G
and
cut
then-
in, and yeah.
And yeah, obviously we were cutting in, and then
Yeah.
and it went to everyone, and everyone was like, "Oh shit, how are we going to beat this guy?"
I think
And
this is
everyone's
where
like,
this
"Oh,
is where the PC button came
yeah,
in,
it
wasn't
did.
it?
It
No,
did,
it did.
yes.
It did. And then yeah, and everyone was like, "Oh, okay, we got to do a whole history of where we
Yeah,
were and
yeah.
stuff." It went into little G who had selling
Yeah,
his for
yeah.
the dinner ticket for money
That's
to
right,
save
yeah,
him.
Yeah.
And it was
That
such
was
a,
such a dynamic
yeah,
episode.
such a-
like
but-
saving up the money.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was so good, and to understand how like our backgrounds in video games,
True.
and it was just and also it was excitement that it was our very first podcast and everyone was in it.
It was.
and it was
Yeah,
it was quite nice,
Our
and
second episode. Yeah.
it was natural, and there was moments where we're like, but we were still on point. Like
Yeah.
you know, we were still natural. It was just like just as if we were just talking normal, and it just went like so smooth.
I think that's when I realised that, like I said, it's only the second episode we did, but I think
It was technically the first, but it's episode 2,
it's-
isn't it?
yeah. The first one was kind of like an introductory kind of thing, but that was the first official episode
Yeah.
we did.
That's it.
And I remember coming into it thinking, oh God, I don't really know what to say, and I'm trying to put things together, and like you said, I had a list of things, and I just thought, I'll just say what I've got to say,
Yeah.
and it just went off from there. It just went, oh yeah, just went big.
Yeah, but I think we weren't comfortable in jokes wise at the
Yeah.
time. We would like to extent
Yeah.
now, but it was still there.
Yeah.
It was still quite funny.
Yeah,
but my only thing is, I couldn't remember my top 5, and I can't remember what it was. It was
It was the top 5 games of all time, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yes,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
top 5 games of all
I couldn't-
time.
I couldn't remember, but yeah. But and I think no. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So
It was.
Yeah,
it
I
was a
remember
fun
when we
episode.
finished the episode, like straight out when we finished it, we were like, "Let's do another one,"
Yeah.
and we did another
Yeah.
episode
That's it, yeah.
straight off the bat, straight
Oh,
away.
that was
and we didn't even
amazing.
write it down or anything. We were like, "What should we do? Top 5
Horror
remakes or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
Or-
Something like
oh,
that.
no, top
Something
5
like
horror games or something, whatever
Yeah,
it was. I can't
and we
remember.
sat
And we
there-
literally just sat there, wrote the top
Wrote
5
it all
in there.
down. That was brilliant.
Exactly.
That was so good because it was just so exciting. We had that kind of.
We got that rush, didn't we?
That
Like,
rush,
let's
yeah.
do it again, sort of thing.
Exactly.
Good.
Such a good feeling.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
We-
It's weird you
really
say that
great.
because I just looked at the top 10 episodes that everyone's listened to, and episode 2 is the most listened episode.
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
It's the most listened to.
Most listened episode.
Wow.
Blockbuster Videos number 3.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Fucking hell.
Wow.
That's so good.
And that was July 20 as well.
Wow, July
So
20.
we were all on furlough. I still worked at Gatwick then.
Yeah, so that's when we're restricted to 6 people meeting up in their house and whatnot.
Yeah, that's right.
It's honestly, mate, it's a history lesson on us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the first hour is brilliant. It's just like, oh yeah, my first game console was this. And
Exactly,
that.
because it's like because we worked together at Gatwick. I mean, I no longer work there, but we did at the time. And then we went into lockdown and furlough and stuff. Or I think lockdown came afterwards, didn't it?
Yeah.
But we worked together, except for you, Gokul. You didn't work with us, but we didn't really know each other, if you know what I mean. It's like you say that.
Well, history with games anyway.
You know, because obviously I knew you hadn't worked in Blockbuster and stuff like that, and you know, and so this episode, I think we kind of like, you know, started finding out things about, like you said, because we're all gamers.
A band of brothers.
Yeah, we're all gamers, but it's like what depth gaming actually meant to us. It was none of us. I think we kind of went in thinking, like the casual gamer, but none of us were casual gamers. We were
not if you're selling
we
your
were
dinner
into
money.
it 100%. Exactly.
Absolutely,
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I was quite shocked when he said that. Actually, I didn't believe him when he, and you were going, oh yeah. And I'm going, the fuck. But again, this is the thing, you know, the lengths you go to for your passion. So
Exactly. Yeah.
it's like, and you had this dream and this little idea, and circumstances kind of lended themselves to you starting it, and we are where we are today. So.
Absolutely,
Exactly.
man. That's a good shout, sir. I
Yeah.
completely forgot.
Very good.
I completely forgot about it because I'm like, oh, that's our first episode. We're like,
It's a good
we're,
episode.
like, we're amateurs at the start of it.
Yeah.
I'll call it a history lesson.
Yeah.
We honestly will, mate.
For us, it was
Yeah.
definitely.
Absolutely.
It is.
Yeah.
I think he followed well, then, didn't he?
Do you think your top 5 have changed now?
Maybe, mate, I might. What as in?
We're
As
three.
in the top 5 of that episode, top 5 favorite games of all time?
We're 3 years on now. Remember?
No.
No?
Think
It'll
of all
be
the
the
games you must have played a lot of, you know,
Maybe one
games
or
since
two,
then.
but
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
Yeah.
my
Okay.
top 5 game. of
Interesting.
time.
Interesting.
I don't know if I can remember my
bad.
5.
Just going back on 3
No, I
years.
might go back and listen to that episode one time to be honest. Just a reminder.
I might
It's a
have
long
to
episode.
actually. Yeah,
It's-
I listened to snippets of it today because because to be fair, most of the episodes are 2.5, 3 hours long. I couldn't listen to 5 of those. So I was listening to bits of them, and I thought, yeah, I like that one, and so on. That's how I built my list, and this one stuck with me because I think, besides all the talking we were doing about the games, and it comes across, I think it does anyway, in the podcast how passionate we are about our games, regardless of what console or what platform we play the game on. And it struck a chord with me, and I thought I've got to put that in the list.
Nice.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Before we go to your number 2, Gokul, I was meant to ask you guys about the length of the podcast.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think it benefits it being shorter, or is it's fine as it is at that length?
I don't know. I mean,
I think for a top 5, it's necessary for it to be this long.
To a
I
degree.
think it kind of because if we were to really sum this up in 45 minutes, it would be really fast.
Yes.
and it wouldn't really be.
I don't
natural.
think-
You wouldn't
Like,
really get
these
the,
are-
I don't
the
think
full
the
extent of the top 5.
I don't think the passion would come
The
across.
passion would come across, and
No.
all those moments that we had to just be free and like do it in our own time. You know,
I think you'd have
ultimately-
to script it.
Yeah,
Because we'd have
Not scripted, I think
you'd be
you just got a bullet
no.
points
I mean, in the
anymore,
sense that
isn't it?
that's what I mean. We
Yeah.
we would be governed by a list, and we'd have to stick to it. And then by doing that would shorten the episode. Whereas we're allowed to sort of say what we want to say, really, and the episode is as long as it is.
But
I think it's the listeners that
if
should
you-
determine that, because if most of our listeners are quite happy to sit through 2 to 2.5, maybe 3 hours of a podcast, then we'll just keep going.
I think 2 hours is okay.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
2
Anything
hours
beyond
is
that,
fair.
I think is a bit, because even when I try to listen to it, sometimes it's like I have loads of podcasts waiting to listen to.
Yeah.
And sometimes M.T.V.B. I'd have to do it 2 segments because I'll get an hour.
I do. I do.
Normally I'm on my drive, I drive in
Several.
and drive out.
right.
But so my MTV will be like 2 days worth.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Obviously, but as the time's gone on, I think it's fitting around 2:20. In the beginning, it was a bit more took longer because I think we were still getting used to it and stuff. And you're right. If you shorten that, you lose that passion.
Yes.
You will lose that comedy side of it,
Yes.
and then I don't think you get the banter because everyone will be like trying to rush. Oh yeah, like
What they're gonna
quickly,
say.
like get this done. You know, you and then it'd just be more of like orchestrated.
I think the episodes, the way we do them, are more honest.
Yeah.
Because it's us talking about what are our passions. Movies, TV shows, video games, and board games. And I don't think working to a script of sorts works.
No.
Because, like you say, you'd lose the passion from us, you'd lose the banter, you'd lose the laughs. But I think 2 hours is if we can aim for the 2 hours, and then that's fair enough.
Exactly.
That's what I feel.
Yeah. If the odd one goes over, then fair enough. It depends on the subject.
Normally,
anyway.
like the ones I listen is an hour, but I think for our sake,
It's
what we
needed.
cover,
Yeah.
and
And to get everyone's 2 cents in as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Sorry, go. Call
Yeah.
number 2, please, mate.
All right. So my number 2 is it's actually a really, really good one. It was I don't know if I think all of us were on this episode. Top 5 video game soundtracks.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
That one, I mean, to me, I really like that one because, being a fan of music and stuff like that, but hearing it, I mean, doing it on movies, which was a great episode as well. Something about video games was, I think, in a sense, it's one of those where everyone knows, obviously, your Hans Zimmers and, stuff like that. But when it comes to video game soundtracks, not many people know it. They're kind of subconsciously listening to it.
I don't think they realise the effort that's gone into it.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's whereas a movie is definitely happening. It's linear. A video game, anything can happen. So you've got to kind of create it almost in another dimension.
Yeah.
So it's really, you've got to really think about that. But at the same time, just hearing, the kind of music that everyone.
I've got 2 going in my head right now.
Yeah, same here. Exactly. From a game, a certain game. Exactly. That's recently come out. Exactly. So that,
I like how in that episode you plugged your friend of yours in it, and he still hasn't been on the show yet.
He still hasn't been on the show.
We'll
And he
have to
was
do
a guy
that,
who composed the music for the game. And it
right.
was a game that was shown on E3.
Well, there we are.
And this
then.
guy's probably on his way to being really famous now.
Well, maybe we ought to grab
But the
him
fact
before he
that-
becomes too famous.
Exactly.
Then.
I'd be like, come down, because he said, look, I'm going to come down to London,
Yeah.
have a beer.
Yeah. Do it
Hasn't
then,
had the
yeah.
opportunity,
Grab
but we
him.
should call him
When
down.
he comes.
Yeah, it'd be really good, exactly, before he does his next big
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
project.
awesome.
Yeah. That was-
Maybe sneak us into the studio and show us around.
Show exactly.
Quick
But
play test.
again, I think that was an episode where the passion came out
Yeah.
because certain games and the soundtracks to them.
Yeah.
And it's like you've just said, some of them you literally only have to hear the first 2 or 3 chords and you know exactly what
Where
game
it
it
comes
is.
from,
You
yeah,
know
okay.
what the rest of the tune.
Yeah. That's
and
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people they kind of played the game and they don't really pay much attention to
Exactly.
the effort that went into the soundtrack for the
That's
game.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, I must admit,
Yeah.
I appreciate the music in the games. I don't
Yeah.
always listen to them,
Right.
but I do listen to the intros. Every game I play, I will listen to the intro, and that because might not listen necessarily to all the music in the game itself. I'll have it playing low in the background.
Yeah.
But the intro I always listen to.
Yeah, totally.
Because there's something about the intros to these games,
grabs you in.
And it's like I said, I got 2 running in my head right now. So
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
That was my number 2.
Good shout, sir.
it was a very good shout.
Let's bring it home to the number 1.
Right.
It's number 1.
Now, my number 1, just want to bring it out there that I love doing soundtrack episodes for this show,
Yeah.
where we get to snippet the song actually in for a little bit.
Yeah.
Like we did one recently this
Yes.
season for the
Yeah.
top 5 movies made some songs. Cracking episode. I do believe that most of them are generally the one of the best interactions we have all together.
Yeah.
Because we get to play it and explain it at the same time.
Play the music in the background.
Exactly,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
go all
Really
out
good.
on it at one point.
Yeah.
And there is going to be an honorable mention to one of those episodes later from me. But my number 1 is the same as your number 2.
Yeah.
The video game soundtrack episode.
Yes.
The reason I put it on there is because this is the episode that starts with the copyrighted music from Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon,
Yes.
which is like one of the best synthwave albums of all time. I don't care, come at me.
Yeah.
For a video game anyway.
Yes.
But it was also the first episode where we did not have any questions to start with.
Yeah.
We had a game show to start the episode, didn't
How was it?
we?
We had the buzzers.
We had the buzzers, and we had me playing you 20 tracks from different video games.
That's right.
And you guys were checking out like if it was from Sonic or Donkey Kong or there's one part where I play a GTA track and you're like, GTA, motherfucker.
And that's why I'm gutted because you played the soundtrack for Spider-Man. That's what I was mentioning earlier. I was about to say.
That's right.
And then I was like, I couldn't get it when I was like, oh, it's Spider-Man, you lose it. It was your top one.
And there was
Little G and Kurge was.
There's one. It was you, Kurge, Gokul.
That's
and there's one part that really makes me laugh is that there's a snippet from Final Fantasy VII that kicks in, and you go Zelda. And your brother Coach goes, Final Fantasy, mate.
Final Fantasy, mate.
What a loser.
Brilliant.
And there was another really good one where I played like a track from LA Noire. And again, Goku just smiling like, this is LA Noire. Yes. You so kick off about when Cuphead gets blades and whatnot. It was such a good way to do an episode differently.
You know, I follow that. I've got that playlist. The one you made us. I've got it.
I do sell it. Wow,
nice.
But this, I think it was such a challenge for me because I wanted to pick tracks that you guys would know, but also the audience would know at the same time. So that when the idea of that game show was to have. There are moments when I listen to podcasts and I get so irate, I shout at the radio sometimes. And no, it's this, you fucking it. This is no, it's not that. He played that person or whatever. And then I wanted them to have the go. That's Sonic. That's Mario. That's as soon as they hear it, or that's Streets of Rage or something, or
you want someone to get it wrong so that someone else can correct them because it's the interaction.
And that's what I did. And then I played Doom at the end, and then he took him forever to fucking. And I was like, I thought he would have got it in an instant, and he's like, he literally waited for the rock bit to kick in and goes, just Doom. But yeah, so we obviously start with the game show, which I really loved. I think we only did that another time with.
We did it with something else.
We did it for Gal streaming episode. Your knowledge of video games where I've got Gokul to read the questions out and stuff. But that was such a great interaction with you guys. I think you guys knew it was coming, but you were sort of looking forward to it at the same time. So you really, I know for a fact you really, I think Gokul even says on the episode he really enjoyed it. Going back to what Gokul said about the music, it was a good eye opener to hear people's opinions on different types of music for games. Like we mentioned about how theme goes well with the soundtrack of the game and stuff and whatnot. Did you know of putting PlayStation 1 games into a CD player? You can actually listen to the music. That was brilliant. Which was an eye opener for Big Gal. He's like, what? I never fucking do that. Everyone got to know my love of 90s techno house, trance dance because of my number ones and whatnot.
Is that the one you had? What's the game where you got a flamethrower and it's got the?
That was one of the Far. Was it one of the Far Cry games?
Where you got
Far Cry 5? Was it?
No, that's the first person episode.
Oh, is it? And you go mad with that track.
That was it. That's going to be an honorable mention.
Where he burns the ganja field.
That's right.
And so everyone found out that Wipeout 2097 was my favourite due to what the artists and all that were in it. How Ridge Racer has one of the best, soundtracks. I just had a lot of fun doing that episode. I had a lot of fun. I still have lots of fun listening to it, even though I know what the outcome is and everything. Nice to hear other people's music. I think Courage picked a couple from Final Fantasy and how beautiful it was to listen to and stuff like that, whatnot. It's just nice to have, again, a different balance of video games, like you mentioned about the emotional side to it. It was nice to know that people actually listen to music in video games, even though you're shooting the shit out of people and stuff. You do actually listen to music as well at the same time. Another one on there was I remember seeing your face, Gokul, when Fallout kicked in, and you were like, "Dum dum." You was like, "Yes, Fallout."
I still think the hairs in the back of my neck still go up every time I hear that song.
I cannot deny.
And then the latest one, Starfield's latest one, same bloke again's done it.
One of my favourite episode. It was tough to pick it. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a lot of people's ones, but I can't deny it. This was fun to make, write, do, and re-listen back to it. So that's why it's got to be number one. It was my number one was going to be Blockbuster, but I think again on the fact of entertainment value, this is a very entertaining episode.
was so interactive.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
So
my
good.
number one. John, what's yours?
My number one was G's number 2 was the video game episode.
The first one?
Yeah, what it takes to be a gamer.
Nice.
Amazing.
Why is it your number one?
I did enjoy that episode. That was fun.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
because, like you said, it was the first episode we did. I think we all went into it thinking,
Yeah.
"Oh shit, not quite sure here." But literally within minutes, we were all spouting nonsense to a
That's
degree,
right.
you know.
Yeah.
And it was a very, very fun episode.
That was brilliant.
We all had a really good laugh, and I think we saw, like we was, you know, a side to us that we didn't quite realise was kind of there, you know.
Yeah.
So-
I think it kicked it all
Oh,
off,
God,
kicked
yeah.
the season off,
Yeah,
I think, and
yeah,
it was
yeah.
a good.
It
And
did.
what an episode name
Yes.
as well. What it takes to be a gamer.
Yeah,
For me,
exactly.
that's what I relate
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
And, and it's quite difficult to answer as
It
well.
is.
I was
How'd
like,
you answer
when I
that,
was
right?
answering, I was
Like,
like,
yeah.
what's I don't
Exactly.
know.
Yeah, because it's like
Yeah.
I've got like my video game experience is quite varied. I don't only play fighting games, and I don't only play whatever. Do you know what I mean?
It's different.
So I play any kind of a game. So to be asked, well, why are you a gamer? You know, and I was like, that was a hard question to kind of answer.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
So you kind of had to really think. So you're asking yourself, why do I play all these games? Why do I pay this money for the game to go? Why do I get so hyped when I find out 3 years in advance that a game's coming out? Things like that. You know, 'cause when E3 worked, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just such a fun episode to do. Really, really enjoyed it. And now here we are, 100 episodes later, and I'm still enjoying every single one of them.
It's brilliant.
Nice. How weird is that when this podcast started, there was an E3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now there is.
Yeah, but I think
It's
social
gonna
media
be-
killed E3.
Yeah.
Because the problem was there was so many leaks, and it was getting worse and worse.
They
So
couldn't control
I know
it.
it's a kind of a horrible thing to say, but in a sense, COVID done us a favour by cancelling it. Because it was getting to the point there you knew like almost 6 months in advance what was coming out, and E3.
Yeah.
I used to be hyped for E3. I thought, I can't wait to hear.
We all was. You remember that?
Yeah.
And-
But the
and-
thing is,
and-
if you think about it,
Yeah.
though, like now you get State of Plays and,
Yeah.
and Xbox whatever,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
every 3 months now.
Showcase.
Yeah.
So in a way,
Have you-
like
It's kind of like E3.
E3 was
but
more
in
of
a-
if you went to it. I
Yeah.
think it's
Yeah.
more of an event.
I mean, I
remember-
wanted to go to E3. I was kind of thinking, well, one day maybe I'll get to go there.
I remember
Yeah.
we
Now-
did the episode for Cowboy Streaming, right? And
Yeah.
then the last question was, what do you want Cowboy Streaming to do in the future? And you all three of you go,
Right.
to go to E3.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
So good.
I mean, it's like
Yeah.
you know the latest leak from Microsoft. Have you heard about that?
Oh, about the new
Yes,
console.
yeah.
You know, you can't.
Unbelievable.
I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't even. I mean, I saw a video come up about it, and I was because it's a character I whose YouTube channel I watch, and when he started talking about it, I'm like, I don't really want to know. So I turned it off, and I still haven't watched it. So I still don't know what was in the paperwork because I don't want to know, because I'm not meant to know, you know. And if I'm not meant to know something yet, then I don't want to know it yet. That's why I miss E3.
That's what it takes to be a gamer.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
Don't listen to leaks.
No,
Yeah,
I mean I used to
yeah.
enjoy. It's like, and it goes back to what I think we said it on the episode where I used to go down the paper shop and buy a magazine, and there'd be CDs on the cover of the magazine, and I would put them in there. I would put them in my
You still get your
in my
Radio Times?
PC.
Which one?
Do you still get your Radio Times?
Christmas. Only at Christmas. The Christmas episode.
Again, we didn't know that until the Christmas episode.
Exactly.
He used to call me as well.
It's a cool gal.
Yeah.
You'd be like, gal,
Yeah,
Matilda, 3 p.m.
yeah.
Thank you.
That was like our commentary corner.
Yeah.
Back
Nice.
in the day. Like,
Oh,
oh, do you remember that?
Over the
bit?
phone.
Oh, mate.
Independence Day.
Yeah.
The one of Will Smith
Yeah.
fighting aliens.
Oh,
Yeah, 7 o'clock.
Saturday,
ITV.
7 o'clock.
He
This
remembers.
fucking guy.
He
This
remembers.
guy.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was why. It was
Nice pick,
It
John.
was a good episode.
Nice
I
one.
really have a good laugh
Yeah.
with it.
So, gal.
Oh,
On
mine.
to G. Biggest.
I feel bad for not putting the Cowboys episode in, but I'm not.
Right.
I'm going to stick to my list, right?
Yeah.
And it's mirroring what you said.
Oh, you got the same as me?
I got the same
It's
one.
video game soundtracks, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
And
yeah.
again, it's for everything what you said. The sound, the game in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It's pure entertainment, and the fact that you play a bit of the music while we're thing is. I think it was very like immersive, and if you're a fan,
Yeah.
you listen to it. It's really a good episode. You know, you can actually know what we're talking about. This is the type of music.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep it sweet. And the ending to that episode. Thank you for not talking about it because he knew I was going to do it. Yes. He plays the Pokemon.
Yes, that was the episode. I was going to.
And
yes.
the sound. And I don't know if you guys did it on purpose, but I knew he did it. He didn't talk about it on purpose. And it was one of my favorite moments where he just okay, guys, we're signing off with another soundtrack, and then I was like, and we all were like, and we literally all sing, and then it gets to a certain bit, and
I love how I'm signing off, but you guys are still singing in the background.
It was one of my most favorite moments. It had to.
Mate, you mark out for it so well. As soon as the you're like, yes, and I love you, mate.
I think all of us were shouting. I think my brother was just shouting, yes.
Honestly, I think at that moment, every person who's listening to that episode worldwide, I'm sure we have fans in Malawi, they are listening to that, they relate.
It worked well as well, because throughout the whole season as well, he always says, this is a massive Pokemon fan, blah, blah, blah.
Boyed him for Pokemon for years, and I got to play it for him.
That was amazing.
That was brilliant.
And it worked so... It's like... It was like... I don't know if it's scripted or... It just works.
It just works.
If you listen to us from the beginning to the... obviously, but I'm saying just... Because it's not something where let's have a dig at me throughout the whole thing and then play Pokemon. No, it just
naturally happened. Because we were talking and Ant was there on his phone. He's like, he's really texting someone like, what's going on? What's he doing? He's like, no, he's getting a Pokemon theme ready. And that's what it was. And it was all happening live. I was really... I was amazing. But I
was trying to time it perfectly because I forgot this was going to happen. And I thought, no, I'll do this quickly and then try and get it on there as quick as I could, because that was before I could figure out I could do other buttons with this on here and have it ready. I had to Bluetooth it through the phone and whatnot at the end, which you don't have to do now. I can simply just preload it on here and type it in the bar. But then I didn't know that was there, so I had so it was perfectly timed. It was the best reaction to get out of him as well as you two and you guys listening. I know Kieran T, anyone who listened to that episode sang along with them at the end.
They did. Because that really touched on everyone's childhood. At some point in their lives, that song played it. So it was really
just iconic.
So iconic.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you're welcome. That's about as Pokemon as he gets.
Exactly.
I don't get my episode back. Get my soundtrack.
Let's never mention it again.
No.
Exactly.
I might give it the episode. If you get enough people on it, you can have your episode.
I'm trying.
Because I reckon he could do the entire episode.
As I say, he can have the episode. He just needs to get people on it.
I was gonna do
curate an episode.
Build top 5 Pokemon.
Then you should.
Have.
You should.
That's a genius.
I'll build a team. Top 5. So, you can have 6 Pokemon in a team, right?
Right. Yeah.
So what's your top 6?
Here we
I
go.
think we're going to have 3. The 300th episode is definitely happening.
The 300 episodes of Pokemon episode.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's going to be a video one.
Yeah.
That's when the co-host becomes the host.
And I also bring pictures and goes, guess that Pokemon. I was going to do that.
Oh, dear. It's the Mario. Fuck.
We could all get up and leave him sitting there on his own.
Brilliant.
It'll be fun.
That was fun.
Pokemon
nice, mate. So go cool.
Right.
Number 1, sir. Bring it home.
Okay.
It's not going to be a clash, clearly, because it was the last one.
No, that's it. It's probably the most, the one episode that, we all spend a lot of time, because I remember our WhatsApp group at this point was kind of asking questions and getting it right. Yeah. And it was an episode all of us were in. And to think that that's where we were and look where we are now. And it was top 5 video games.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
The top 5 video games.
So that episode with John.
Yeah, and it was, was that the one?
To be a gamer, To be a gamer,
That was the episode, right?
That was the episode,
Okay, about the N-Spin game. Yeah, I mean, for me, it was more about the top 5, and I'd say that because, it's probably the best list I have. Probably the most definitive one. I don't think it will change. No. Maybe once in a while, but
I really need to go back and listen to my 5 on that. I mean, I don't think mine would change either, to be honest.
That's the thing. I think that was what we said that day till 3 years later. It's concrete. It's video games that we grew up with playing.
If it was a top 10, it probably would have changed if it was top 10. But 5, I think they're quite stapled in well. My one
stapled in exactly. Same with the movies as well.
Well, we haven't done the top 5 movies of all time.
No. Oh, that's going to be special. That's
that could have been the 100th episode.
I've not done top 5 movies of all time.
Nope.
Okay,
we haven't. Okay.
But that's going to be a special. We save that for.
That's the 200th episode.
That's going to be hard.
Yes,
mine's easy, dude.
I'm not so sure.
I can't wait to hear that.
It's like your top top movie of all time.
All time,
like,
yeah,
shit.
exactly.
Better start working on it now. Jeez.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so funny enough, we've never done the movie side of it. We've done favourite TV shows and video games, but
we
haven't
haven't
never done the
Oh,
movies.
wow, okay.
Yeah, that needs a special
Okay.
Christmas moment. Yeah.
Special 4-hour long episode. Top 10.
Double
my
bill.
God,
Double
yeah.
bill. Amazing. Yeah. Yeah, it has to be top 5 video games. I remember that because even when we were going through the top 5, it was one of the longest episodes as well. But also we were talking in detail.
Yeah.
A lot of us went down memory lane with every video game. We didn't just bash it and say, "Oh yeah, by the way, number 3," and moved on. We all had a story to tell about that. That was quite good.
Why we played it, why we liked it.
And we did it all in one take as well. We never stopped.
What
stopped
season was
recording.
that? Season one?
Season 1, episode 2.
Season 1,
Yeah.
Oh, episode 2 as
two.
well.
Yeah.
The most,
Was
Was that the most?
what it
watched
takes to be a
listened
gamer.
Episode?
Oh, what it
Yeah.
takes
What it takes to be a gamer has the top 5 video games of all time
As
on
a
it.
top 5 game, and that was the follow up
Oh, right,
to it.
so, okay.
Yeah, that was it.
Fallout.
Absolutely. Oh, you got Fallout. Yeah. I had my GTA
For a member.
standard.
For I remember,
You know.
I've had Fallout. I think Fallout 4 was my number 1 or number 2, something like that. Can't remember.
Yeah.
To go back and listen.
I'll have to, yeah.
Or if you know, folks,
Absolutely.
comment below, let us know.
Yeah.
Good choice there.
Yes.
Should we do
Yeah.
honourable mentions?
Yeah.
Go around the table, we'll do it again normally.
I don't.
Cool.
I didn't build. I didn't
Mine
make one.
was...
I didn't either.
So I
hang
had
on, I know
the Christmas episode.
Yep.
Obviously, it was mine.
Oh, the cowboy episode for me.
Yeah, so the Cowboy episode.
Cowboys.
Cowboy show. So season 2, episode 3 was the first-person shooter one.
Yeah.
With when I go into the music for Far Cry 3.
Oh, yeah, You got one.
That's
Sorry
the one.
to
Yeah,
interrupt.
that's
You know
Far
the
Cry,
ones
yeah.
where you did with your mates and where you carry on laughing because of Double Dragon.
That's on here as
Oh,
well, yeah.
yeah.
So that is
That was
season
the
1.
episode.
Yeah.
Season 1, episode 9, how we got into gaming.
That's it, yeah.
Now, I kept... So this is what happened, right? So, season 1 is not edited, but I wanted to edit that episode out of that moment because of that minute.
What, of you laughing?
Because I'm laughing for 3 minutes straight out.
No, don't do that.
God's honest truth. And the thing is that I kept it in there because... When me and my mates used to have a really good laugh, that's how I laughed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it would go on for fucking ages. And I just thought to myself, I was this close to like cutting it out. And I thought, you know what? Let's just keep it in there because it's something my mates can remember. It's something I can remember.
Yeah, exactly.
It's something that my kids can... Is that my dad laughing? It sounds like Muttley or whatnot. So I kept that in the end. So another one was... The fuck does that say?
What the fuck does that say?
Oh yeah, season 3, episode 20. So this is the composed movie soundtrack episode.
Yeah.
I've kept this in here because I loved. There's basically an episode, Gal, where you talk about a specific piece of movie from a Tamil film,
Yeah.
Right.
and I can't remember what the movie's called, whatever. But you go well into it. Now I'm
Yeah.
not kidding. Like you go full on. I think it's 17 minutes of why this piece of music is in your. In your thing. And the thing is that there is not one break in there or anything. It's not edited out. It's not edited to cut short or anything like that. It's
Yeah.
literally in there. And how you do it, even though you like when you watch a movie, right, you have an intense moment, but the camera slowly zooms
Zooms in.
into that person.
Yeah.
That's what this moment felt like. Like when you talked about it, I thought, oh, here we go. It's another fucking story I'm never going to understand. And it's just that moment. I was like, I was gripped. Yeah. I felt like it was like that movie where I was like that person's getting their slow zooming in and whatnot, and how you did it, and how you were trying not to break or cry or get emotional over it. But the way you just like kept that, because I thought at one point you were just going to stop and be like, fucking, but no, I think you just do it and not realise you were being recorded at the same time.
Yeah, because we were all like this. Like we were all just engaged.
Oh,
we were
wow.
just like super engaged. And then when it stops,
It was like, wow.
we were like, whoa, okay, so who's got to follow that? You know?
I think I was next.
And I think, and the thing was that this was like his number 3,
yeah,
and I'm like, this is something that was worthy
Very
of a number
epic.
1 spot.
100%.
And it was just weird
So
how, like, I
Yeah.
mean, I can't describe it because it was like I've never heard this bit of music.
Yeah.
I think we tried to find it, didn't we? And we couldn't find it to play
couldn't,
because it's a soundtrack episode.
Yeah.
We normally play it, don't we? But
It was so.
I had to mention that because that was just fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, there's a couple of episodes you do that, but this one was like the 17-minute long one.
Well, was it the
sort of thing.
composer episode?
Yeah, so it's part 2 composed music. Okay. I put in season 4, episode 10. This is the TV theme song episode where it's you and me, but we edited John into the episode.
Oh, yes.
I remember. Yeah.
So we done it. We designed it so
no
that
way.
John actually sounded like John would be on the episode.
Brilliant.
And we tried to work around. We knew what.
You ever heard it?
We knew what he was going to do.
Well. Dave was on that episode.
Dave was on the episode, so technically it's Dave's idea to do that. And he's like, look, he's like, so spend a bit of time trying to see if we can find some clips of John.
Take answers from
out,
other shows and put them.
Take answers from other shows, and then we would just act along with it.
That is so good.
And
In
then
fact, I want to listen to it again because I remember listening to it the first time, laughing my eyes.
And then when you listen to
Incredible.
the episode, I told you beforehand to say this thing when he does this and say that, and you follow along with it so well. Like he's literally sitting next to you right now, and you're like, "Oh, my number 3 is Supernatural," and you're like, "John, there isn't even any intro music in that song," and he goes,
That is brilliant.
Yeah, you should.
and we got things like where John's like, "I like it," and, we're like, and he's like, "I know you like it, John."
That was
good.
And it was done so well. And I think
amazing.
again because I learned how to do this with the Rodecaster now, and then I can actually go
again now.
do this and do that and
Press
whatnot,
it and then-
and just put him into the episode when he wasn't even in it.
No.
I mean, like now, for example.
They told me they'd done it, and I thought. And so I listened to it when they'd done it, and I must admit, I was like that, laughing my head off.
So technically,
Amazing.
I told John a special guest was on the episode. He couldn't make it on the episode, so that's why we had to bring him in. But he was meant to be on the episode. I think something happened, he could come on it. So I said to John, when it's out, you need to listen to it. There's a special guest on here for you. And he's like, first reaction was like, I bet it's me. and he's like, he didn't even know we even edited him on it, but he was just like, I bet it's me, or like you mentioned me or something. And I said, no, John, seriously, when it gets to the number 3 spot, listen into who the guest was. And I wish I was there when he listened to it.
Because we usually take the Mickey out of Nash and whatever. So I thought, here we go. This is going to be an episode where instead of taking the Mickey out of Nash, they're going to take the Mickey out of me. So I was kind of on the right lines, you know? So when he said, no, honestly, you need to listen to it because, I thought, fine, okay. And I just cracked up. I thought,
Brilliant.
you bastards.
Brilliant.
But it was funny. It was very, very funny. Very well done.
Yeah.
Very funny. And if you've not heard it, you should go and listen to it.
And then, so that was season 4, episode 10. You should listen to it. It's a really good one. One more episode was from season 1, episode 11, which is the childhood TV show episode part 1, because we did a part 2 in season 6, I believe. I did this episode with Simon from Board Stupid. Hi, Simon, if you're listening. And I did it with Stuart from Legends of Podcasting. Hi, Stuart, if you're listening. This was a massive nostalgia overload for me, where we brought up our top 5s, but then we had to talk about our favourite shows before the top 5 and what it was. And we were just going through a list of this and list of that. And I was like, I remember this, I remember that. And it was just a major... Because they're all roughly the same age as me, like maybe a year older or a year younger, I can't remember now. But when we mentioned the episode, it wasn't like someone went, oh, I don't know that one, or I don't know this one, or whatnot. There wasn't an age gap or anything like that. So when we said Round the Twist, Games Master, Nightmare, and all that sort of stuff, it was like, I remember this. Oh, God, yeah, I remember that. And, He-Man, Thundercats, Galaxy Rangers, whatnot. Was just a really good episode. And I think,
can I just say, sorry, Round the Twist, have you ever
felt like this?
Wow,
Yeah.
yes! Strange things happen. Okay,
when you're going around the twist.
Yeah. Okay.
So again, it was just
Brilliant.
It's one that I would love to do. I'd love to do. I've done a part 2 of, and I got to do it with Gal, Dave, and Howard, I believe. And again, it's right up Howard Street. Like he loves all that nostalgia stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I just thought, as an episode, it was like one of the best ones for that little nostalgia bait for it. I mean, M.T.V.B doesn't go into nostalgia as much,
I've done one of them,
but yeah, that was just like a really good one to do. I want to do one some point between season, obviously episode 100, 200, to do like the favourite kids TV show theme songs.
Yeah.
Be a good soundtrack episode to do.
Yeah.
Like you said, Round the Twist or something,
Amazing.
whatnot. So maybe that's another one we could do. Maybe even a part 3 with different crowds, because I do love talking about old kids TV show stuffs and whatnot.
The old school
I do
stuff.
love a little memory lane sort of thing.
Yeah.
But that's my honourable mentions. Does anyone else have any at all?
I had
I'm glad you mentioned a couple of those ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're quite good. I remember one of the movies, the international movies. I talked about a movie called Survive Style 5+, and I thought no one's going to know about this movie. And then I think we got a comment on the Facebook saying, "Oh yeah, I remember watching that movie."
Yes, we did, didn't we? Yes,
there's someone else in the world.
And there was a
who's watching
TV
it.
series you mentioned as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't remember what it was now.
Okay.
Something
okay.
about I can't remember, survivalist
Yeah.
or something, whatnot. And someone mentioned that. I thought I was the only one who'd seen that as well.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was now, but that was like the top 5 favorite TV shows or
Yeah,
something.
and it was so abstract, but it's good to know that was also picked up.
Oh, sorry, Joe.
Yeah,
You got
that's good.
No, that's all right.
Oh, sorry.
I'm saying my season 5, episode 1, top 5 sci-fi movies.
Oh,
that's good.
yes, that was good.
like
Yes.
We had your friend for that one, Ant. The guy who worked in the comic book shop, I think. On that
Yeah,
episode.
Howard's.
Howard.
Howard,
That was
yeah, Howard.
sorry,
Yeah.
Howard. Yeah.
And
Yes,
then
it
the-
was. Was you on that as
Howard.
well?
Yeah, I was on
yes,
that.
it
That
was.
good.
And the other one
Yeah,
was
good
the commentary corner from Judge Dredd. I wasn't on it, but I remember listening to it thinking that was actually quite good.
Oh, you actually liked it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think that's it then, guys.
Wow.
Good episode.
The 100th
That was a good one,
episode.
yeah.
A lot of clashes there, but again, you like what you like.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
That shows you how
It's great.
good those episodes
Yeah.
are.
It just goes to
Yeah.
show that everyone thinks the same. And again, this wasn't scripted, so we
No.
didn't know what they were beforehand. But
Yeah.
it was quite tough because it's 100 episodes.
Yeah.
It's a lot to go back and listen to and try and remember and stuff.
yeah.
I'm sure there are other episodes that were just as good.
Yeah.
But I can't even think of them off the top of my head right now.
That's the thing. You'd have to go back through all 99 episodes again,
Yep.
and it just didn't have the time to do it. But those ones stood out for me now. So we could do a part 2 of this maybe, and then mention another 5 another time maybe. So
Yep.
Well, we'll see.
yeah.
Does M.T.V.B stop at 100 or does it carry on?
Hell no!
Continues.
They continue to be continued.
How dare
Continue?
you, sir. We want another 100 at least. Come on.
Absolutely.
New challenger.
We'll see, guys. We will see. So let's end it there, guys. Again, I just want to say a big thank you to all our listeners for your support, for everything you do just to keep this going for like the next 100 episodes if we do it. To everyone around the table, thank you so much for
Anytime.
sticking
Thank
with
you.
this,
Yeah.
and hopefully you stick around for even more
Yes.
episodes and keep this baby going.
Oh,
No,
Absolutely.
thank you, Anne.
I love it when you do that. But I don't actually know if you're actually thanking me or not. I don't know if it's just a catchphrase or not.
No. I'm thanking you.
But no, guys, bottom of my heart, let's keep this going.
problem, my
Yes,
friend,
please.
No problem at all.
To another 100 episodes.
Yes, exactly.
Guys, if you like what you listen to, follow us on Facebook at the M.T.V.B podcast, or on Instagram at M.T.V.B podcast, or on TikTok at M.T.V. podcast 197. I'm your host for the 100th time, followed by
JK47.
Grey Fox.
The Charm Assist.
Yay.
saying goodnight, guys.
Good night,
Goodbye.
Good night, guys.